Testing, testing. Hey everybody, good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Where's my chat at? Here we go. There's our chat. All right. Hey Terry, how you doing tonight? Susie, good to see you. I've got something going on here in the back. Hang on just a second. The cat's chair is throwing me off. All right, so can you hear me okay? Not good. Not good sound, or are you just not doing too good, Terry? Let me raise this camera up a little bit. I was kind of rushing tonight. All right, well, I trust everybody had a good Saturday. I went to a 7-year-old birthday party at the pizza joint today. And good time was had by all, but boy, them kids can get noisy, can't they? Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Terry. If I forgot to turn the light on. Hang on one second, I got a light out. There we go. Let's see if that does. Looks a little bit better. If his background gets too distracting, say so, and I can change it or turn it off. So what's up, Terry? You having a setback on your health? So anyway, we went to a pizza joint up in Conroe. I had never been there before. It was not a Chuck E. Cheese, thank God. But they had all kinds of arcades and laser tag and trampolines and, you name it. And there was little monsters running everywhere. Oh, I hate to hear that, Terry. Boy, that is rough. The last couple dogs I had to put down, I was done with dogs for a while. I was never a cat person until I had these last 2 cats adopt me. But they're kind of maintenance free. But I know what you mean about your dog, man. My last dog, man, that was my best friend. He'd been around for a long, long time. And he was with me nonstop. Well, I hope the pain goes away soon, Terry. I know that's tough. I've been through that. These animals we have not only depend on us. I mean, they're family. 13 years old. Well, that's a pretty good run for a dog. I'm going to slow this thing down a little bit. There we go. Well, Susie, did you get my second mailing? I didn't know you was wanting to share that stuff before I sent it, or I'd have put more in the box to start with. But you should have gotten it yesterday or today. Well, I've been playing with this sorry mixer all afternoon. I think I've got it dialed in. I'm not right on top of the mic. I think the volume, according to the gauges, the volume's where it needs to be. I don't know why I'm not seeing any feedback on the output. I'm assuming y'all hear output. So let me run one more test. Can you guys hear this drum roll? Is that going out? Because I'm not showing anything on the meters. Well, both of you are very welcome. Yeah, mine too, Susie. I'm kind of partial to my cup. We probably got a couple dozen cups in there, and if she brings me coffee in the wrong cup, I have to send it back. So Charlotte should be joining us here in a little bit. We're still on EV Mux. I've been playing with it this week a little bit. Grumple Claus. I don't know if you noticed on the envelope it said Santa on fire. So I gotta have my coffee in that cup. It just don't seem right without it. You know, I got those about gosh, maybe it's been close to 4 years ago, and I've only sent out just a few. Speaker connected. Well, I heard a ding. There's your ding. That's the ding-a-ling, and I heard you speaking too.
You did.
Yes, before I brought you up.
Right. Isn't that an interesting little feature?
Well, I didn't know it did that. Most of them don't do that, do they?
I know Restream does it, and I'm not sure about the other one. Restream, Talk
Yardbird.
Studio. Talk Studio.
Well, how's your day been going?
Doing great. Great, actually. I took a lot of naps.
Oh, okay. I took one a little while ago.
Poppy and Murphy went outside and started tearing up the garden so
Okay.
we can remodel it. And he took down a couple of fences and a couple of beds, and they're de-weeded a bunch of soil, and it's not even halfway finished yet, but that's okay. It's going to be a process.
Well, you've got a little time yet too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's why we started doing it this early. I think next weekend is supposed to be nothing but rain, so we'll do what we can as we can.
Yeah, I heard we had some rain coming our way this week. So it'll
Yeah,
probably have, even if it's not raining next weekend, it's going to be so wet, probably won't be able to do a
froggy.
whole lot.
Hmm.
Well, I'll ask you, I ask everybody else, how's my volume tonight?
I think it sounds great.
Okay, I've been playing with this afternoon.
It might be a tiny bit loud, but it could be because my volume's all the way up.
Well,
I'm
let me
gonna
move
check.
my mic back just a little bit. How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Okay. Yeah, I fooled for probably, I don't know, a half hour a little while ago.
Hmm.
Could not get my sound, no matter what I tried, I could not get the sound right. Couldn't get any volume
Yeah.
changes, anything like that.
Our
And
friend, well, my friend Jackie, the crochet friend I have,
uh-huh.
she's been having a heck of a time with her volume, like, or her audio, period.
Well,
And I think,
go ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what I found out was this mic wasn't on. One of my webcams was picking me up.
Oh, no. Well, I think what me and Poppy decided last night, he listened to it, the audio that she was putting out, and it was very crackly and
Yeah,
um it was bad. And Poppy convinced her to use a different microphone and see if that would help.
yeah,
And come to find out, we think that the microphone in her phone is going bad or it's really dirty and needs, because
yeah. That's
it gets all
possible.
kinds of debris and stuff in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Poppy's favorite go-to for fixing electronics is clean it.
Clean it and
You know,
then turn it off and start it again.
yes, and 9 times out of 10, that fixes just about any problem he has. I'm trying to
Well,
find us on YouTube.
are we there?
I'm trying to find. Oh yeah, we're there.
Are we there? Oh, I don't know if you heard
Oh,
that or not. I was checking.
oh, okay. Yeah, we're there. It's just I right before I was gonna sit down and come live with you, I realized I hadn't made my tea yet, and that was going to
Oh,
be a tragedy.
no, we can't
So,
do that.
so I went ahead and made the tea first, but I didn't have the computer on. I just had my. I'm using my phone tonight to film. This is my new phone.
Oh, it's a good picture. Very good
Thank you.
picture.
I hope so.
Yeah, better than the other whatever you was using before.
Yeah, well, that was, believe it or not, what I was using before was a Pixel 7 that's supposed to have like really great camera and all that. No,
Yeah.
this is a Motorola.
Well, you got a better picture tonight than you have in the past.
Thank you. Thank
Looks
you.
really good. Really good.
I'm tickled to death to hear that because this was half the price of a Motorola. I mean, a Pixel.
Hey,
See, y'all,
Tom, how
there
you
is
doing?
there are bargains to be had.
Well, I was telling him earlier. I don't know if you heard me or not, but I had my my niece's son. So I guess that makes him my. He's still my nephew. He turned 7.
Grandnephew, great nephew,
Yeah, great nephew, nephew's nephew, or something. I don't know.
something like that.
Anyway, they had his birthday party at one of these pizza joints.
Yeah.
It wasn't Chuck E. Cheese, thank God,
Oh,
but it
thank
was
goodness.
similar. So they had a
Ugh.
lot of arcades, and they had an indoor uh, go kart track, laser tag,
Ooh.
and all that kind of stuff. It was up in Conroe. I'd
Oh.
never been there before, but I mean everybody's well behaved. A lot of little monsters running around, but everybody seemed to be
Mhm.
pretty well behaved. But when you're not around that stuff a lot, it really gets loud after an hour or two.
Completely. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't do anything but just hang out, and I had to have a nap when I come home.
Right. I don't blame you. I understand that so much. When I hang out with the grandbabies, I'm the same way. I've got to have a nap. Um, but it's, oh, it's
It's all
Father's
part of
Day.
it, but but no fights broke out, no blood was shed.
And that's nice. That's really
That,
nice.
that's nice when you get that much family together.
Right. Nobody gets over drunk. No redneck scenes. You know.
So
But
the big games Sunday. I normally don't watch football, but I usually watch the Super Bowl.
right, right.
So I'm still trying to figure out what kind of munchies I'm going to fix to sit down and watch the game.
Well, it isn't aren't chicken wings the traditional
That's
traditional
a pretty
fare?
good. That's a pretty good go by, but man, I hate to pay $3 a pound for chicken wings.
Look, I know, I know. I'd rather spend all the money on whole chickens and
Well,
just cut the wings off.
I mean, the thing is, I can buy chicken legs and chicken thighs for 99 cents a pound, and still cook them up just like a wing.
Exactly, and they taste just as good, and you don't feel like you're getting gypped, you know? No, Terry, I did not see your Facebook cut, and I can't look. Yes, I can. Hang on a minute. I can look. Was it in Messenger or was it on your page? I know what I'm about to read, and I'm going to be sad, but I'm going to read it anyway.
So Susie, you
Oh,
think you're going to make it to the cook off, or what's what's sort of your plan? I mean, we all kind of hang out outside the tent anyway. I mean, we get armbands, we can go in and out, but for the most part, unless it's raining, everybody's kind of hanging outside because get a couple hundred people in a tent, it gets a little warm.
oh yeah. Oh God.
Susie's coming in for the day. She's up in Dallas, up in Arlington, I believe. Well, Susie, there's plenty of trouble there to be found. I've seen a couple of fist fights in a few years.
Hey, Wanda.
How you doing, Wanda? So anyway, I was thinking I might do some chicken. I might do. Let's think about maybe doing a charcuterie board.
Oh, that
We can
sounds
just
delicious.
kind of pick on that all afternoon.
I might would do that.
I mean, it's everything I'm not supposed to eat, so it sounds pretty good to me. I mean,
You know what I did last night? Poppy took me to Hobby Lobby so I could pick up a couple of balls of yarn that I was missing for a project. And on the way back, we were both starving. So we stopped at Five Guys and got a hamburger. And I ate a hamburger with the bun and everything. And that's the first time I've done that in so long, you don't even know.
I I cheated today big time.
Well, good.
I had
Good.
pizza. I had a hot dogs. I had
Oh my
chili. I
God.
had everything. Big chili cheese dog. I, they said I had a 45-minute window on the buffet, and I think I stopped after 40.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have one more batch of chicken wings to smoke. Okay.
Hey, she
Smoke.
got paying customers. I like that.
Yeah, no kidding. But and you don't get to eat any of it. Isn't that the kicker? I'd have to sneak a few bites. Taste test that stuff. Oh no.
Well, Susie, if you'd like to come up, there's the link. Same with you, Terry.
You know, I haven't even decided what to grow or anything in that garden. I think I'm just going to go to the farm store, pick out some plants, shove them in there when we get the beds built, and
Yeah.
just test it basically this spring. See what I can do, and then in the fall, because you know it takes time sometimes in a newly configured area to figure out where you need your trellis and where you need,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, different
Yeah.
parts. So, and I kind of know because I'm keeping it pretty much in the same place. It's just going to be differently configured, so it's going to be odd.
Well,
But yeah,
I got the seeds that you sent. I'm gonna start them out in the greenhouse probably next week or two.
did I send you the mango melons or the peach?
Yeah.
Some kind of melon, and it was either mango or peach or something like that.
I don't know, and this stuff been sitting on my desk until last week, and I moved it.
I did. I'm not sure, but I think I did. I'm
I know
about
there
to
was
have
some
to.
long beans in there.
Yes, yes.
So
Watch
anyway,
out
you're
for
not.
them though, because they will bring wasps and ants. So plant them away from,
Well, the wasp ain't
plant.
gonna
Oh,
hurt nothing. They'll still pollinate.
yes, they will. They will.
And the ants, as long as I got something out there for the ants to eat, maybe they won't be knocking on my door.
Well, the long beans secrete this sweet nectar type substance,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's what attracts the ants. They won't go anywhere but the beans. Trust me.
Hey, Quentin, how you doing tonight?
Hey, Quentin. I think
Well,
Quentin had him a new grandbaby.
no way.
I think so. Am I right about that, Quentin?
So I bought that grapevine, that I thought I'd maybe run up one side of that trellis.
Right.
And of all the stuff I covered during this last cold snap, I forgot to cover that up, and it was just
Oh no.
still sitting in the pot. It was one of them out of
Oh
sight, out of
yeah.
thought type things,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure I lost that.
Oh no.
Looky here,
Look,
Uncle Steve.
it actually might just surprise you, and when it gets warm enough, it'll start leafing out and you'll be tickled to death.
Well, I hope so. How you
I
doing
do
tonight,
too.
Uncle Steve? I trust you got my mail I sent. Jason, good to see you again. Kind of miss you on the lives. It's been a few years. You need to pop up. In fact, there's another. Let me throw the link out there again. Anybody wants to join us?
I thought I saw Tom earlier.
I think it was a different Tom. It
Was
said
it a
Tom
different one?
too.
Okay. Well, Tom's got like 1 through 99.
Got like 6 channels. I think he's trying to beat DJ.
That's
Hope you're doing
right.
well, Uncle Steve.
Okay, I'm about to drop a link in your chat for
Go for it.
uh this is the link to the melon seeds that I sent to Grumpus. I hope that it works.
Ooh, we'll
That
find out. It
yeah.
should. You're a moderator. There it is. All right,
I've got
Jason. Well, stop by sometime. You can pop up here with us.
yeah. Hey, Uncle Steve, did I say that already? I feel like I did.
Uncle Steve's a busy man the last few weeks.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. Any of those girls start college yet? I
They're
get such
going
a kick
fast.
out of his videos about
Yeah.
sending the girls to college. That's so sweet. I should have done something like that when my girls were young. I wouldn't have to be paying so much. Oh goodness.
And I was also thinking about maybe doing a corned beef.
Oh, now that sounds great.
I
And you
uh,
could put that on the charcuterie.
I could put yeah. I'm really really itching to get that smoker fired up.
Oh boy. I know you are.
And
And it's about the weather for it and everything.
yeah, I should have. If I'm going to do that, I should start at about I don't know 5 or 6 in the morning, maybe earlier, maybe around 3.
Well, don't do something that's going to hurt you.
Well, everything's going to hurt. I mean,
Well, I
meteor
mean,
a meteor could hit us
injure.
before we end this thing.
Right. I get that, but what I mean is do
Yeah.
damage.
Oh, I hear you. But a guy can only sit around so long.
Right. Right. And I believe you when you say those smoker lids are so heavy because I was at Bucky's. Well, it was in January. We were on our way home from Georgia, and we
Yeah.
stopped in there to get the boys some beef jerky. And um, I was looking at their smokers and tried to lift the lids on them, and there were a couple I couldn't lift.
Yeah. I mean,
And
mine's heavy. I went out there the other day, and I picked it up. I could open it. The problem is it's such a long reach back to try to close it.
yes,
Even with
yes.
the counterweight kind of helps you get it started, but then it adds to the weight once the door's open.
Let me ask you this: could you rig up some kind of jimmy to stick in the opening so that you didn't have to reach so far back? Like just pull the jimmy out and let it let it slam shut.
I'm afraid my brisket will fall just like a cake.
Well, that makes sense. That makes sense.
No, no, I think it. I was going to put some extra weight on the counterweight
Mhm,
to where I could just
mhm.
open it up with one finger. But the problem is, once it opens up, then I got to pull all that weight back up with the door.
Oh,
And it's the pull, the stretch on your pectoral muscles.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
they got me moving around a lot in the rehab, and
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing much with it, but I still stay sore for a couple of days.
Mhm.
But I
Mhm.
think I could heal up okay after a brisket.
Well, as long as it's just sore muscle and not damage, I think you'll be all right.
Not heart wise, they say I'm doing great. I mean, I'm on a machine for 50 minutes a day, and they'll take my vitals halfway through it while I don't even stop on the machine. They want to know what I'm doing during the exercise,
Right.
and my
Right.
heartbeat barely goes over 70, and I'm sitting there just
You
pedaling
need
and
the
huffing and
machine
puffing, and
yourself then. Good
well,
grief.
my blood pressure might get up into 130s or something like that. But as soon as I stop, it's back
It's
down in the
supposed to.
120s.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, the other day I think it was 116. That was 5 minutes after I stopped exercising.
My resting heart rate is not under 100 unless I'm taking my heart medicine.
Yeah, my resting rate's about 58, 59,
Oh my
somewhere around there.
Lord. I'm lucky to get into the 80s.
So that's why I keep telling everybody I feel great.
Good.
I've got a lot of people telling me a lot of things I can't do. That don't go very well.
No, 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 I bet it
just,
don't.
just makes me crave it that much more.
Uh-huh. What you mean I can't? Let me show you I can.
Okay,
That's the
I
way
keep
I am
forgetting I got
anyway.
the chat here. Uh, let's see,
A little bit
or Jane
behind.
Doe
Oh,
popped in.
Jane Doe. Yes, Quentin, I think he's pretty fit too, because there's no way mine would look like that.
0 degrees 5 minutes ago. You must have wanted to smoke that cigar really bad. If it's that cold, I'm gonna let somebody smoke it for me.
That sounds really stinking cold. I don't think I've ever felt that kind of cold before. Good grief. Quint, did you get your new grandbaby yet? Because I thought I saw a picture of you with your new grandbaby, but I might have been dreaming it. Who knows?
I don't know about that, Quentin. I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. Wife was a little upset with me today. I told her I was going to get up and go replace some tuba sixes on the deck. She said, "You're not doing that." Well, sure I can.
Uh-oh.
I think she said you can't do that. I said
Oh,
they're only 16 footers.
oh my
I
gosh.
bought those right before I had my little issue, so they've been sitting out here all this time. I got
Right.
a couple of holes in my deck. I need to replace those boards. My mom's in town. Well, she
Okay.
came to Texas. She's in Dallas right now.
Okay.
But
With
she
your
gonna stay
brother?
up there. She gonna stay with my brother 2 or 3 weeks, and she's gonna come down here for 2 or 3 weeks and head on back.
Good.
But she likes to sit out on deck and have her coffee in the mornings. But I need to make sure she don't fall through a hole.
Right, right.
I mean, her leg will heal up, but that hole will stay there forever.
That's insane. Oh, I have been dealing with my neck for the past couple days. It is so sore. I don't know if I slept on it wrong or if it's just from sitting here crocheting for 5 days in a row. Oh, that's your youngest grandson. The new one will be here this coming week. Okay, Quint, I apologize. I misspoke. I could have, when I saw that picture, I thought, oh, heavens, he's done had his new one. But now you got a lot to look forward to. Two grandsons, hot diggity. And now, Quint, do they live close to you? Because I've only got two that live close to me, and the rest of them live. all over the place. Speaking of grandkids, I have not seen mine in about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and I'm starting to get jonesy for them.
Is that the
I
one here that lives close to you or the one in Florida?
Mhm. The ones that live close, they live right down the street. I could walk to their house if I was real motivated. Um,
Well, what's the deal? They just tied up in school or? I
well,
mean, everybody has busy lives.
their mama's running for city council, so she's just
Oh,
been
that's
too
right.
busy to, you know, she's doing a lot of stuff.
So when is
So,
that
and I
election?
get it.
When
You
is that
what?
election held?
Well, the debate is March the 1st, and the elect. No, that's not true. Yes, it is. And the election is April. The primary is April 1st.
Hey Tom, how
The
you doing
actual
tonight?
the actual election is June 1st, but because there are no opposing parties running, the primary will determine the winner.
Oh, okay.
You see, so basically, we'll know April 1st who the
This
winner is.
this is Tom Lockhart. This is my nephew,
Well, hello, Tom.
and
How are
his
you?
son is the one that had the birthday party today. Tom, I
You
don't know
know,
if
I
you hear her.
seriously believe that parents should be the ones celebrating birthdays.
Well, Tom, I was telling everybody earlier we had the whole family together. There was no bloodshed. Everybody's still speaking when we left. It was a good gathering.
Oh, you don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. Quint's in the same situation I was in December. I don't know what it is. Yeah, God bless your pocketbook. Them little girls are expensive. And both your boys live there. Good. And your youngest is a city councilman. Here in our little town, I don't think it's a huge job, but it's an important job, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and I wish her the best. I hope things work out for her and she gets the position.
So is she is she what's her goal? She's trying to get stuff done, or is she just kind of getting her toe dipped in the political arena? Does
I
she have
think
an
her
agenda?
ultimate I think her ultimate goal is to be appointed to the school board. And
Okay.
here in our town, because we are under a certain population, the mayor can appoint whoever he wants to the school board. And um, she wants to be able to make decisions for the school system,
Okay.
you
Okay.
know, to benefit the kids. But I think that's her ultimate goal. I don't think her ultimate goal is to move up in politics and eventually become a governor or something like that. No. But she does love this little town and said that she really, if she gets the job, she wants to make a difference and, do the right things by it. She's very interested in smart, uh, controlled progress as far as businesses and economy and stuff like that. But she also understands that people who live here consider it a bedroom community and they don't want a lot of, we don't need four Dollar Generals in
Well,
this
I
town.
hear
You know what
that.
I mean? And we don't need another liquor store or another vape store and that
How
kind of
y'all
thing.
how y'all set on storage centers?
Oh,
Every tree that pops up around here, they knock it down and put a storage units.
I I can count four off. I mean, I can see them in my head.
Yeah.
Just in and this town only houses about 16,000 people.
Yeah.
There's one at the end of my road. So my youngest says, "Dad, what did I get myself into?"
Yeah. I
You
would
say
think
goodnight.
I would hate to think that I had so much stuff that I paid for that I need to
Mhm.
pay for it again just to keep it.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little accused right now.
No, no, no. I'm not accusing you of anything, but I've got people I
Don't
know
here.
that have storage units they haven't visited in a year or two.
Oh, no, we frequent ours.
I mean, my mom, she had a storage unit up in Garland, just outside of
Mhm.
Dallas. And when she moved back, and that was all crap she brought from Indiana.
Mhm.
And when she moved back to Indiana, I think she had that storage unit for probably another year.
Oh my. Oh goodness.
I asked her what was in it, and she rattled off some stuff. I said, the mice had probably eaten all that stuff up. I said, I really don't need my birthday card or my report card from the second grade. You can get rid of that.
Right. Right. The only things I have in storage that belong to me are my yarn. Well, a lot of yarn. We went through all that yarn and I got rid of a butt ton of yarn. I sent a lot of it to Mona. I sent a lot of it to the Salvation Army, and the rest of it I put in a dumpster.
Yeah,
Now, if we did not go through all the boxes in there, but we went through a lot of them, and Poppy brought home every one he could find that had yarn in it. So maybe we have less than we did.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm I got to point my finger at myself. I got a lot of stuff,
Right,
but
right,
I could probably make a lot more room in a house if I got a storage unit. But I just won't let myself do it.
right. I get that. I get.
I mean,
Well, it's expensive.
I got a motorcycle in the garage. Hasn't been backed out of the garage in over 30 years. It's just in the way. I just have a hard time getting rid of it. You know, little pieces
Yeah,
of
a
lumber and
horse.
stuff. You're always going to make something.
No, I'll hang on to something for a considerable amount of time, like the yarn. I've had that. The yarn that I threw away and gave away in storage was yarn that I had probably collected over 20 years.
Yeah,
And
but you're still using
I
that kind of stuff.
I do,
Yeah,
but I also like to purchase new yarn too. So it doesn't make sense to hang on to the old stuff when I'm
yeah.
continually buying new stuff, especially when I'm using up the new stuff and going and buying more new stuff. If that
I mean,
and not shopping my stash in storage.
I've got a full working wood shop in my garage.
Mhm.
So I had a tendency of saving every little piece. I mean, even just a little stick, I can make a pin out of that. So I would hoard all this stuff. And, I'm tripping over it now and all that kind of stuff. I haven't been out there to make anything in probably 10 years. So some of that stuff I could probably just get rid of. you know,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I don't
You
know
see
what
what
it
Tom
is about
said?
a I don't know what it is about an empty coffee can. I just can't get rid of them.
Oh, you can put all your screws in there.
I can put stuff in it. I hear you, Tom. So, how you doing tonight? Sunday dinner shift. That's Tom. Yeah, that's
That's
another
Tom.
Tom. That's like the third Tom tonight.
Got lots of Toms. Amy is resting right now. Is Amy
That
your
is my
wife, Tom?
that is my niece.
Your niece. Oh, I see.
That's Tom's wife. She just recently had some surgery.
Bless her heart.
Probably should not been to the party today, but she was going to do it.
I
And
just learned last week that my middle daughter is probably going to have some surgery here in the near future.
yeah.
And yeah, unfortunately, it's well, I can't really talk about it, so I'm not going to. I'm sorry. I'll
All
let
right.
you know. Y'all can pray for her when it's time. She's not sick or anything, so that's good. That's a good thing. Hey, oh, okay, they're speaking. Um, but what I will go back to the storage thing. That's really the only thing that belongs to me in storage, other than pictures and keepsake boxes for these two youngest kids.
Yeah.
So what I've decided to do is give all the pictures to the two daughters who live here, let them sort through them and give them to whichever kids, you
Right.
know, are in the pictures, and then I don't have the responsibility for that either.
Well, I mean, really, that's better than hoarding them and letting the silverfish eat them.
Right. And I have kept, I mean, these are pictures, some of them are as 35, 40 years old.
Yeah.
So, so if they want them, they can have them. If not, they can throw them away. I can't throw them away because those are my babies
Right. Right.
on those pictures. But if they want to throw them away, that's perfectly fine with me. Thank
Yeah.
you, Susie.
I understand that.
I'm actually learning from my mom to yarn just to keep it up in the family. I'm a person who doesn't want to let that. Clint, that's amazing. What kind of yarning? Crocheting or knitting? Or some of tatting? Any what other kind of yarn? That is wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. I've been trying to teach my son because I thought maybe it would help his ADHD, make his brain be quiet a little bit, you know. But he's not interested. And I'm trying to shove it on him, and he keeps saying, "No, mom, no, I don't want to do it." I'm like, "You're gonna be sorry." Oh, good, good, Quentin, good. You know, you ought to come watch me on Monday nights. I do my crochet channel, and I have other crochet friends up there. Not my channel, my it's just a little. It's still Gulf Coast Granny. It's just Monday nights I save for crocheting, and that's it. And I usually go on around 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, I ain't trying to plug myself on your
Oh,
channel,
go
Grumpus.
for it. Go for it. I don't have a problem at all. We can
All
plug
right,
any channel
then.
we want. It's after 11. Ain't no
Okay,
rules after 11.
okay, okay.
Somebody was telling me earlier this week. He said, "Man," he said, Grumpus goes on at 11 o'clock, and I said, "That's too late," and everything like that. I says, "Well, we find out who the true night owls are.
That's right. We find out who the true
You'd be,
insomniacs
you'd be
are.
amazed how many lonely people are online after 11.
That is the truth. Isn't that the truth? Now, I will say I'm not a lonely person, but I am an insomniac. So I, I don't. I got too many kids to be lonely. Oh, let's see. And of course, Poppy. You know, Poppy keeps me on my toes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up late all the time anyway, so
Hmm.
I figured this late at night I shouldn't be stepping on anybody else's toes.
No, no. I'll tell you what. I never used to worry about that. But as I have gotten to know a lot of folks in the crocheting community, I do worry about it now because I know this one goes live at this time and this one goes live at this time.
Yeah,
And if I want to do a little pop up, am I going to steal people or I don't want to do that.
yeah, I don't want to poach anybody else's viewers.
Right, right. But then again, the other part of me says, hey, it's nothing personal, it's just business.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a regular live I jump in on Wednesdays,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
but there's a couple of other guys I like to watch on Wednesdays also. But I
Okay.
generally watch the replays on those so I can be on the live on my standard live.
And see, I do that some too. Yeah. Yeah. Because there are people I like to engage with, and then there's other folks I like to watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Lucky you, Grumpus. I like engaging with you.
Well, that ought to light the internet up that we're engaged.
I wasn't trying to. Never mind. I'm going to shut up now.
Hey, everybody, I'm as
Shut up.
as
I'm the only
surprised
other
as you
person in
are.
here. Look, I'm notorious for opening my mouth and inserting my foot. So I bought me a new weed whacker today.
Oh yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. You got to go get one of these. It's a Toro 60-volt weed whacker. The
Gee,
battery is this big. It's
you pull it
huge.
pull it in a little red wagon behind you.
No, it's actually it's a little taller than I like them to be, but it came with the strap, you can wear it, and takes it takes some of the pressure off your arms because it is a little heavier than my last one.
Uh-huh.
But man, that thing is a beast. It's a beast. You should see it, man. It just done.
Well, my weed whacker's in a pump up sprayer. And I spray whack it about twice a summer.
Well, I can't do that. I have a garden. I mean, like food. Poison this whole family just because I hate weeds. Well, I've been wanting a new weed whacker for like almost a year now because
Okay.
the one that I had, I love it. I love that weed whacker. It's a Black and Decker 40 watt, 40 volts, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
and it would weed whack my whole garden on one charge. Now it wouldn't weed whack much else, but the garden's mine, and I don't
Right.
allow anybody else in there to destroy anything. If I destroy it, that's all right. It's on me. But I
Yeah.
don't want to be mad at everybody else because they tore up my mustard greens or something.
Yeah. I hear you.
Um, so yeah, it started crapping the bed on me because what happened was the string would just suck back in the spool, and I don't know why. I don't I don't understand these things. I'm not that mechanically inclined when it comes to weed whackers. I can put together things, but I don't operate on things. Unless it's a, you know, 1964 Chevelle or something like that, I could probably do that. But
Hey, let me ask the guys in the chat. We've got the chat running on screen here. Does anybody really need that? Because y'all are watching through YouTube.
I
So
don't
I
need
could
it.
I could dump that and
Hmm.
make ourselves a little bit big. Wrong way. Wrong
Whoops.
way.
There you go. Actually, there is a.
No,
Oh,
no
let's see.
chat. Why is? All right, hang on just a second. Let me adjust this. Let me find out why you are not up here.
I like your background.
All right, that did that. That did that. Why are you not up here with me? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
I just don't know why we don't have a.
Oh, I'm behind you. See my purple sweater moving underneath your chin?
Well, let's see here. Give me just 1 second.
Okay.
Is EV Mux, folks? We're still learning. There we go. That's a
You
little
don't
bit
have to make
better.
me so big.
That's a little bit better, isn't it?
A little. Make yourself
Now, see,
bigger.
StreamYard won't let us do anything like cool like this,
I know.
but it
And
should have
that is
should have done it automatically. I'll have to look and see what I messed up.
maybe
There we go.
somebody, yeah. Um excuse me.
You know what? I think
I
I must have erased one of my. See, that's the main.
mhm. Right. Yeah. I don't need it because it's not benefiting me at all because I'm on YouTube on my computer in
Okay.
front of me.
All
I
right.
mean, I
Well,
might be looking off to the side a little bit, but
that's all right. Well, I'm gonna do that so we can be a little bit bigger. All right. Where are we at?
I don't know.
Dump it, dump it.
I don't know what that means. I really like your background tonight
You like
for
that?
tonight.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
found. I was afraid it'd be too busy.
No, no, I like it. I like the different colors and how it changes, and
Just
it looks
another
cool.
YouTube running.
Yeah. One of these days I'll learn how to do that.
In fact, I redid. Got my cameras all finally working the other day.
Hmm.
So right side. So you can see right here. This is just one full screen,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and it's just you can see right there. It's YouTube,
Look at that.
and then we just put it behind us.
Looks like you're in a jet engine cockpit back there.
I looked for the longest time. I was wanting to find a camera shot of a runway.
Yeah.
The planes would be taken right off, right off behind me, but I couldn't find anything that would size the way I needed it to. I just thought
Right.
that'd be kind
That
of
would be
cool.
cool. That would be really cool. Look how pretty that is behind you.
Yeah, that's a new channel I found.
Huh.
They've got a lot of cool stuff.
Those just called like overlays or something.
I just go into YouTube and I look up 4K backgrounds
Okay.
and all kinds of abstract watermark type things will pop up. I mean, this channel here has over 200
Oh
videos that
wow.
run, and a lot of them are run for 11 hours or better. Now this one here is, I think it's about hour and a half,
Okay.
maybe a little less, but you can put it on a loop
Sure.
and just
I
and just
really,
just let
really
it do
like
its
that one.
thing.
Of course, I like your smoke proofs too.
But a lot of them are too busy. They're very distracting.
Some are. Yeah. The ones that have a lot of fast movement behind
Yeah.
really distract me.
Now
But
some of
the
them
ones that
some
have
of
that
them you can run at half speed or less, but they get
oh,
start getting a little choppy if you slow them down too much.
makes sense. Makes sense.
This one here, I think, is see this one here is running at half speed.
Okay. Okay. Well, I like that.
Yeah.
What'd you have for dinner tonight?
Uh, I ate all afternoon. I didn't even have any dinner tonight. I mean, I had,
Chicken
I
wings and
think I
hot
had,
dog.
I think I had like maybe 8 pieces of pizza. I had spaghetti. I had a big chili cheese dog that I doctored up myself, so it was a whole plate full of things I shouldn't have eaten. So, so I come home and Vicky said something. We got home, I guess, around I don't know 4 o'clock or so,
Mhm.
and she asked me around 6:30 if I want something to eat. I said, "Man, I'm still stuffed."
Still,
So
I made some chicken salad from I made I roasted a chicken, I guess, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and the carcass was still in the fridge, with meat on its bone, and so I got all of it off and picked it clean and made a chicken salad, and that's all I wanted tonight. I put some dill pickle relish in it, and it was so delicious.
nice,
God, it was good.
Tom. You like that background? That let me do this. Let me pull this up. Tom, that's a AI generated background. I said I just told AI to make me a picture of a brisket on a hot grate, and that's what it came up with. I thought it looked
That's
pretty
pretty
good.
amazing. Quint, I'm not gonna be doing anything for the game at all. Um, because I'm just not much of a football fan. Now, if the Jacksonville Jaguars were going to the Super Bowl in some bizarro world event where they won a lot, then I might would watch it.
Yeah,
Um, but with the expectation that they would do really great the first half of the game and then screw up the entire last half because that's pretty typical. So, so there's that.
I haven't quite decided, Quint. I've thought about doing some chicken wings. I just can't make myself pay $3 a pound for chicken wings around here. Not when I can buy the whole chicken or chicken parts for $1.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I may do that. I was thinking about maybe doing a corned beef or charcuterie board.
That's what I would do if it was me, Grumpus. And I'm just saying, I would make my corned beef and I would slice it up, stick it in the refrigerator, and then stick it on that charcuterie
I've almost
with
waited
coffee.
too long for that.
How long would it take? Well, you could do it in the oven. I mean, I know that's not
Oh no,
okay. Okay. Okay.
no! I'll smoke it just like a regular brisket.
Okay.
I mean that's my preferred way of doing it. I mean,
Of course.
my ex, she used to do them all the time. What she called it a New England boil, and she'd boil it with potatoes and carrots and all that kind of stuff. And it was really good.
Yeah, I don't boil mine, but
But
I do roast them in the oven.
since I've started doing them on the smoker, it's hard for me to go back.
Imagine, imagine. Um, Once I get a smoker, that's probably going to be one of the first things I do.
They just keep so much of their flavor. It doesn't leach
Mhm.
out.
Right, right.
I mean, I've done
Now,
them in a
what do
crock
you do
pot
with
was
the
good.
little packet that comes with it?
I usually
Do
throw it
you?
away.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
usually just throw it away.
So how do you season it whenever?
Just like a regular brisket, whatever seasoning I'm in the mood for that day.
Okay,
I keep it low salt. It
okay.
doesn't need a whole lot.
Right, because it's
Uncle
already.
Steve has a seasoning called thick meat.
Yeah, I
But
got that.
it's mostly pepper.
Okay,
So I think I put that on the last one. But I've used his regular original seasoning before. I just I taste it first, make sure I'm not getting it overly salty because it's already briny to start with.
exactly. Yeah.
But it doesn't leach out like it would if you boiled it. I've soaked them overnight before, and that kind of helps. Keeps it from being too
Okay.
strong.
Okay.
But by when I smoke them, I mean they're nice and juicy when I slice them open. I mean
Right.
they're really good. I got a good video on them on one.
I'm. I'll have to go watch that. I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh, you'd
I'm
like
going
it.
to go right now to Walmart.com because that's my only grocery store now that they closed up my Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, I'm with you, Quentin. It's just me and the wife, so whatever I do, I'm sure I'll get a couple meals out of it.
Oh yeah, maybe three.
Well, look who showed up.
Who? I don't know who. Who?
Hey, Marcel, how you doing?
Myself.
I think I sent you a link if you want to join us.
See now, I wish that me and Poppy could eat like that all the time. Just little small portions of appetizers, finger food every day for the rest of my life, and a good ribeye about once a week. You know.
Now, my wife, she would prefer just to pick all day than
Mm-hmm.
re- than
Mm-hmm.
than have a meal.
Me too.
But it's hard to eat decent when you're doing that.
Yeah, well, it's hard to get all the stuff that you need, and also it's hard to eat, um, to take care of yourself when you're doing it. You know what I mean?
And well, I mean, everything on a charcuterie board I shouldn't have. All the salamis and pepperonis and all that processed stuff. But if I put one of those together, we'll still munch on it probably 2 or 3 evenings.
Well, couldn't you put,
I could
you
put
could
healthy
make,
stuff on it, but it wouldn't.
yeah.
It don't seem right.
Well, when me and Poppy make one, we usually do the cured meats, but we do fresh cheeses, we do vegetables. I mean, sometimes chopped broccoli florets or cauliflower and have
Hmm.
a dip for that and
Yeah.
almost make it a mini veggie tray with tomatoes. And then we'll have fresh fruits, and that's not bad for you. I do, and always apricot jam. I love apricot jam on the crackers and cheese. That is so
I'll
delicious.
do the dried apricots a lot of times.
Okay.
Dried
Mhm.
apricots and the dried cranberries. I like
Mhm.
those. Now, Becky'd
And
rather
I
have
like
raisins. She doesn't care for the cranberries, but I do.
I like the cranberries, but I also like raisins.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Um,
Clint. If it's too cold, I mean, I say it's
I
too
know.
cold. It was in the 80s here today.
Here too.
If you notice, I'm not in flannel tonight.
Right. But I am wearing my sweater because Poppy had the air conditioning on meat locker earlier today, and I was freezing to death in this house. So, oh man, I just woke up, tried to watch some TV.
I think the last two movies me and the wife tried to watch together, I fell asleep during both of them.
No, no.
In fact, I told her, I said, we may have to start watching movies during the daytime. It seems like every time I sit down to watch a movie, I conk out. And I'll wake up, I say, what did I miss? And I start backing it up. And it really aggravates her. She
She'll
said,
say all of it.
you slept through that much?
Rumpus, I'll be right back. I got to get some more tea.
All righty. So, yeah, whatever I fix for the game tomorrow, I mean, we'll probably pick on that most of the evening. Might have a light lunch. Because, at Super Bowl, they'll start the TV or start running on that all day long. So a lot of times, by the time the game starts, I'm tired of it already. But it makes for good leftovers, especially if you got cold cuts or something like that. You make sandwiches and take them to work through the week. But I may run up and just pick up some chicken pieces and just do some legs, family pack of legs, and cook them up like chicken wings. Just use that same seasoning and all that kind of stuff. So that'd be quick and easy. I think I've waited too long to do the corned beef. I'd have to thaw it out and get that thing on the grill probably. The way I do it, I probably have it out there by 5 or 6 in the morning. Give it a good 8-10 hours, low smoke, low temperature and smoke. It'll be ready for the big games. I don't know. I still got time to think about it. But you, Marcel, do you do anything special for the Super Bowl? Does your family sit and watch together? Do you have a lot of munchies or? How you doing, Jane? So Tom, you still in here? What you guys gonna do for the game? So I generally I really don't follow football that much. In fact, I think the last football game I watched was Super Bowl last year. Now, if I'm out somewhere and they got a football game running, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
But I generally won't take the time at home to sit down and too many other things I'm trying to do. I knew
Yeah.
this was coming. I was trying not to open this can of worms. I mean, there ain't but one team to root for. They're wearing red.
Honestly, I'm not even interested in either one of them, to be frank.
I see, Marcel, I usually leave the room when halftime plays because it's generally so degenerated and trashy, and I just don't want to watch it. I don't have a dog in the hunt either. The Chiefs have two in a row. It'd be fun to watch somebody break a record and get three in a row.
Wouldn't it? That would be fun.
But that would be no reason to root for it.
Right.
And
Um,
Susie knows Dash, and he's Philly all the way. So that adds a little spice to the
oh,
game. He's
yeah.
from Philadelphia, but he lives in Baltimore.
Doesn't Baltimore, do they still have a team?
I
They
yeah, I
used to
think
have
they
the
do.
Colts,
I think
but
they do. Now, Susie, are you watching the game, or are you just watching Mahomes?
move, kitty, move, move, kitty.
But
I
yeah,
do
I'll
not
be I'll
believe.
be I'll be rooting. I'd like to see Mahomes get it. He's a heck of a quarterback. He's young. He's got a bright, bright, bright future ahead. But it would be kind of cool to see him win three in a row at his age. And I like their coach.
Thought you said you didn't keep up with football.
Well, I mean, I know who the players are.
I
I
have
mean, you
no
can't.
clue.
I don't know who. I know who the quarterbacks are.
Okay.
I know who the coaches are because the coaches hadn't changed in so many years.
Oh,
I know, Susie.
and you know what's funny? 30 years ago, I'd have known all about this because
Well,
I was a football widow.
I used to watch it, and I don't want to stir up no crap, but when they started taking the knee during the Star Spangled Banner, I stopped watching,
And
and they
a
they
lot of
ain't won me back yet.
a lot of people did.
I figured, that's too many millionaires misbehaving in one place,
Right. Right.
and they're on the job, and
Representing.
I feel like as a boss, I've got a right to tell my employees behave
Hmm.
or get out.
That's right.
But that's a soapbox I probably shouldn't climb up on, especially
Well,
today.
maybe not today.
Dash Charlotte Dash had a an Eagles costume. It was a hoodie with a cape for the Eagles, and we teased him all night that it was a chicken outfit.
Gee.
He did he did he cooked some wings on a video this week, and I told him I was curious to know if those were eagle wings or not.
Were they eagle wings? My goodness. Susie said it was a turkey costume.
That's what I kept telling him. But it was all in fun. Well, even Quentin, see, he saw it. It's a turkey outfit.
Um, Quint was trying to change the subject to talk about
I know
crocheting.
that.
You, Quint, look, I'm working on my squares.
Gwen, are you rooting for the Eagles? It's okay. We're all friends.
Yeah, we
I'll still
want
talk
you.
to you next week.
You can still hang out with the cool kids. We ain't gonna be like the mean girls.
Yeah, that's right, Susie. I forgot about that. I don't think Charlotte knows Dash. He's a big black man, bald black man.
I've seen him before,
He's
but I
not
don't
called a bald
know
eagle.
him. Mm, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Oh well, gotta have our fun while we can.
Darn right. You hear that? That's
No.
my dog whining.
Oh, I can't hear
Yeah.
him.
Oh, okay. Good. Dinah, no. No.
Okay, well, Quentin's he's rooting for Philadelphia.
Okay.
I mean, I can see the game going either way. They're both
Mm-hmm.
good teams. They wouldn't be in the Super Bowl.
True, true.
So I think it's just going to come down to the arms of the quarterbacks.
I think that my son and his dad are rooting for the Eagles as well, but only because of an acquaintance of theirs was a Kansas City Chiefs fan,
Uh
and that person is no longer married in the family.
huh.
So so I think they had got a bad taste in their mouth about Kansas City.
I don't think I don't think a football game's going to come between us.
Yeah, right.
You have to wait in line. That's a long line.
That's right. A long line.
Susie said, "Bye, Nelson."
Not okay.
Uh,
Oh my goodness.
so when do you think you'll start planting stuff?
Well, I told Puppy today that I want the garden completed by at least the majority of it by March 15th. Normally, I am planting tomatoes by March 7th, but since we have a late Easter this year, I know we're going to get a freeze or a cold snap before Easter or right around Easter. So I've decided that March 15th is an acceptable date.
Okay, so are 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 you building new beds in new locations? You just turning them over?
No, no, remember the termites ate all of my beds.
Well,
So
I
I
remember
bought
that.
I bought metal ones to replace the wooden one. The termites won't eat metal.
Right, right.
Now they might rust, but the termites will get it.
See, I made all my raised beds with rock
Okay, okay,
and just built
good idea.
just stacked rocks. I mean, I didn't concrete them together or anything. I just stacked rocks and then lined the inside with
Weed
weed cloth.
cloth. I bought some heavy duty weed cloth. I got it at Lowe's last night. See if I can show it to you. It's it's 6 feet tall and it's 600 square feet. The name is Haynes Geo Components. It's a woven black cloth, and it says commercial grade landscaping fabric.
Wow.
And I am very tickled because this is the first time I have. Hang on. Oof, I bet it weighs 30 pounds.
Oh, it's pretty heavy stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's really heavy. This is the first time I've been able to afford something that elaborate for.
Well, let me know how it works out.
I will. We're also going to put sand on top of that, and then put our beds down, fill them with soil, and put pine straw mulch on top of the sand in the pathways. Because things don't like to grow up through sand either.
No, no, I'm getting ready to lay some down, and
Yeah,
I'll use. I don't like pea gravel.
right.
I buy what they call roofing gravel,
Okay.
and the
The
roofing
little
gravel
tiny
is
white
about
rock.
it's about pea gravel size, but they're different shapes.
Yeah, they got edges on them.
So when you walk across them, they lock together. You don't sink down in your ankles like you do.
Right.
So I need to do that. I did that years and years ago, but I'm about, all my gravel's about gone. I don't know where the heck it goes, but it's about gone. But
Well, we were gonna
I
go
found
ahead.
by laying about a 2 or 3 inch layer of that gravel on top of the weed guard, any weeds that do happen to pop up, as soon as you walk on that gravel, it just grinds them down and kills them.
No kidding.
That's what I found out. Now digging, I've done so much digging in the back and laying different water lines and repairing stuff like that. That's where a lot of my gravel's gone. It's pretty much trampled down. But it lasted over 30 years.
Wow.
So I've
Well,
got to
that's
put a
something to
border
think
up.
about.
I've got to put a border up by the back fence because I don't want to put the gravel right up against the fence in case we have to change the fence out.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to lose it all in the neighbor's backyard.
Right.
So I think I'm just going to lay some 4 inch PVC pipe, like the drainage pipe that has the holes in it.
Yeah.
I think I'm just going to lay a border of that down along that fence to hold that gravel back. That way I can change that fence out if I need to without
Right.
without losing all that pathways.
Well, that's a good idea.
But I've got a couple low spots that holds water. But if I put a little bit of gravel on top of it,
That's what we've got an entire the north side of my house, which is that direction.
yeah,
Um, I think that is where between our two houses is where the grade kind of slopes down,
right,
and it's always a lake over there when it rains. And I told Poppy, I said we need a French drain or something. Thing is, I don't know which direction the water flows
yeah.
because really it just stands until it absorbs and then it's so I'm not sure how to do it, but I
Well,
think that's something we might need to do.
I think I'm just going to trench it out just a little bit
Mhm.
and get all mine running back where it needs to go. Because if I put gravel on top of it, everything's going to be level.
Right.
So even if I've got a dip in a pathway, a low spot in the middle of the pathway and slope it the right direction, by the time I put gravel on top, you'll never know it's there. And that water will
True.
still travel. And if I can keep the hardest part is keeping dirt. Once you lay all this stuff down, is keeping dirt out of the gravel.
Huh.
Because once the gravel gets on top, once the gravel gets on top of that weed guard, or I'm sorry, once the dirt gets on top of the weed guard's not doing any good under the dirt.
Right. Right.
And, in my particular environment around here, we have potting soils opened up and dumped on gravel. We get flower pots dumped on the gravel. I mean,
Yep.
we do have work tables and potting tables, but they're never used.
No. No, why would there be?
And, I'd go back there and just go nuts because the very thing I'm trying to keep from happening is happening
Right.
because we're not being careful.
Huh. Maybe that's why I'm having weeds so bad because I spilled dirt in the pathways
We'll see you,
on
Quentin.
top of the weed glove.
Good night, Quentin. I
Good
appreciate it.
night, Clint. Yes.
Yeah, I had a neighbor tell me once. She said, "Well, that weed guard won't work." I tried it.
Mhm.
Well, they put the weed guard down, and they did it right after it rained. So all their feet had mud all over them. They come trampling over on top of that weed guard. So it probably had half an inch of
30
dirt
pounds of
on
dirt
top of the
on
weed
it.
guard, and then telling me it won't work because the weeds keep growing. I said, "Well, they're growing on top of the weed guard."
Right.
I said, "Any weed
Well,
that happened to make its way through that weed guard and up through that gravel is so weak. All you got
uh-huh.
to do is walk across it, and
Pull it.
it's done." Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Just and they you use two fingers and pull them
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah. They're just so weak.
Mhm.
No, I swear by that stuff. But it is, it's not a maintenance problem. It's a you just have to be disciplined and be conscious that it's there and
Right.
try to keep the dirt off of it as much as you can.
Right.
So that's my plan. We'll see.
Hmm.
I'll have to. I'll just have me a dump truck bring me a load of gravel over and dump it in the front in the driveway, and I'll have to wheelbarrow it back.
Well, that's what we're talking about doing too, is having some sand delivered, and oh, Wesley found a place that'll deliver a ton of sand for $26. A ton. I
And
don't
do you
think
need the sand in your soil?
um
Is it clay soil that you're using, or are you using bag
no.
soil?
I'm not gonna put it in the soil. I'm just gonna put it underneath everything to keep stuff from growing up through. Because sand does does not promote growth of much.
Okay,
So we're gonna put the sand down, put the weed cloth down, put some more sand on top of the weed cloth to keep it in place, basically, and then put our mulch down for the pathways. But we're gonna set the beds on top of that sand, and then put our soil in there.
okay, okay.
Does that make sense?
I mean, I can see maybe putting the sand down and the weed cloth on top of the sand.
But not the sand on top of the weed cloth.
I think you're just inviting things to start trying to grow. That's just
Okay,
my opinion, Charlotte.
I understand. I understand.
But whatever you decide to mulch with makes a difference too. You don't want if you're using bark, something like that,
No,
just going to rush it. Every time it rains, going to wash away.
I'm gonna use pine needles. Um, and we're putting
I'd be
basically
tempted to try that. I'd be tempted to try just mulch first, and if that
like
don't
bark
work out,
mulch.
yeah, and whatever kind of mulch you can buy,
Oh,
uh,
okay.
just I would try
And
that on top of the weed guard and see how that does.
okay,
And if it doesn't work out, then you can always come back and put sand on top of it.
sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, and there's a spot out front that's really low, on the north side, but in the front, and it's pretty darn low over there. And I thought, well, we could have them dump the sand in that spot,
Yeah,
and then cart the sand to the back as we need it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then spread the rest of it out because our soil is very sandy here, and so a little bit more sand ain't gonna hurt nothing.
See, I'd be tempted to try some small gravel
Well, and that's a good idea too. I like that.
because the water will run through it pretty easy.
Right, right.
Sand's going to hold the moisture for quite a while,
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
and
But like
my
when you
issue would be walking through the sand and it sticking to my feet and tracking it in the house and all that kind of stuff.
I like where you're going with this.
I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I like to
I
do.
did not think it that far in advance. Well, the sand wouldn't be the. I mean, I'm going to put 3 inches of pine needles out there on top of everything,
Yeah,
so it'll be pretty deep, and the pine needles compact down,
yeah.
and I
But
have to add more every season.
but won't they decompose to something that things will grow into?
Not normally.
Okay.
I as long as I keep it mulched in pine straw, I don't have a
Okay.
problem with
Well,
anything growing
all right.
in
That's
it.
good then. That's good.
What happens is what has been happening is when the pine straw shoot, I just lost count. Um, when it does mash down, that's when I get the weeds coming up through it. If
Yeah.
if I don't replace it regularly, and pine straw's cheap compared to everything else. It's
Yeah.
so cheap.
Yeah.
So, and I got a garden on a budget too because, well, you know me, I'm
I
cheapskate.
understand. That's why I haven't got gravel in my paths yet.
I hear you. I hear you. Gravel ain't cheap either now.
No, it's not.
I don't care who you are. Roofing gravel. I'm gonna have to look that up.
That's
Do you
what
get
that's what
yours?
my nursery called it, was roofing
Your
gravel.
nursery. Okay, okay. Um, we have a sand and rock company, two
That's
of
where
them.
that's where I got my stuff. They
Okay,
sold
okay.
sand, different kinds of gravel, stone, rock,
Right,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
right.
So it may be just that one location called it roofing gravel. All I
Yeah.
know is it's different shapes than pea gravel. Pea gravel's pretty
You
much
know,
stays rounded and it'll fold up
right.
around your tennis shoe when you stomp down in it.
Exactly,
Whereas this
exactly.
other stuff, I'll go out there and rake leaves and stuff like that off the top of it. It might fluff
Right,
it up a little bit, but as soon as you walk across it once or twice, it's locked down tight.
right. Just like it is on a roof when the reason I know what this stuff is because when I was a kid, we had a flat roof that was uh they would put tar down and then put that rock over it or something. And what happened was when it would rain, those little pieces of gravel would come loose and fall off of the
Okay.
house. And me and my brother would go around sweeping them up and playing with them. So I
Yeah.
know what this stuff looks like.
Yeah. The
I'm
nap bitter.
going back to bed.
The nap bitter.
Good night, Marcel.
Let's see, and Marcel, thanks for stopping by.
Come see me Monday night.
But I've got so much rock in the back already. I just think on my pathways, it did look really good when I did it before,
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, yeah.
and it
And how
stayed nice.
long did it look the way you wanted it to?
Oh, it stayed nice for years.
Yeah.
I mean, leaves to fall and lay on top and pine needles, stuff
Mhm.
like that. Somebody call, say, hey, we're on our way over. I'd go back over the leaf rake and within just minutes rake up the top of that gravel, and it looked brand new again.
So, so what you're saying is put my weed cloth down, or put my sand first, then my weed cloth, and then put some gravel on top of that.
Yes, that's what I do.
Now, what would I use to lock it in though, so it's not spilling over into the grass and the lawnmower kicking it up
Well, I
whenever we
mean
mow?
that's your particular application.
Whatever we want to
See,
do
when
to
when
keep
I
it.
say paths, everything, all of my gardens are raised beds, and if they're all
Okay,
raised with
with
uh,
the rock.
yeah, moss rock.
Okay.
I've got them all stacked up and everything like that. Well, everything between them is path. So I just go through there and just lay my weed guard down, and my raised bed is the border for my pathways.
Oh, okay,
You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
And that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
on the back by the fence. It's the same
Mhm.
thing you're talking about. How do you keep it out of the grass? Well, I got to
Right.
I got to keep it from running under the fence into the neighbor's
To the
backyard.
neighbor's grass. Right,
So I
right.
need I need
Okay.
some of that metal border or something like that. But I don't want to put a dam back there because my water
No,
drains that way. So I'll
right.
probably get a drainage pipe, a 4-inch drain pipe, and lay it down, and then pour my gravel up even with the top of it or close to the top, and that'll keep everything contained. So when I step in it, it doesn't have the tendency to kick out under the fence.
Right.
But my moss rock on my flower beds keeps it from going that direction. So mine's more contained paths.
Yeah.
Yours are more in the open. So
Yeah.
your
Uh,
application is completely different.
well, and I'm sitting here trying to think because I'm going to have a field. We're going to put field fencing up around the entire garden and put a gate in the center
Oh, that'd
right
be
out the back
nice.
door.
Yeah.
And the reason I need the field fencing is because this puppy of mine has destroyed my backyard and will continue to do so to my garden if I do not contain it. Um, he can't help himself.
It's
Everything
his
he
job.
finds on it, whatever he finds on the ground goes in his mouth. I threw a 2x4 for him today, this long, and he went and chased it and grabbed it and brought it to me. A 2x4. So he's a great dog, but he's all puppy still.
I hear you. I
All
hear you.
And I'm really worried. I'm concerned about my garden, and I told Poppy, I said, I can't have a garden unless it's fenced.
Yeah.
So that's what we're gonna do. And I haven't decided yet. I think I'm gonna use a 4-foot fence. I don't really want to. I'd rather have it 3 feet.
Yeah.
But one of these days, he's gonna discover that he can jump. He hasn't learned how yet. We've got a 4-foot fence all the way around this yard,
Yeah.
and I could put him out in that backyard and leave him for 6 or 8 hours, and he would not jump that fence to get out. Not
He,
yet.
he hasn't thought about it yet.
He ain't thought about it yet. That's right. That's right. So I'm a little concerned about that. Told Poppy that this summer we ought to get ourselves one of those invisible fence things and put it around the
Oh yeah.
backyard, so to keep him contained. Because once he does think about it, he's going to be gone. Now he's microchipped, and
Right, but
he,
that don't help if he's
that
hit by a
don't keep the
car.
cars from hitting him.
That's right.
You know.
Right.
So there's that.
Well,
And I
yeah,
already
your
lost.
your application on the gravel will be a little bit different than mine. I never thought about what you were doing.
Well, and I'm thinking about this. I think cinder blocks around the fence line, and then the gravel on top would work perfectly.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Just the uh the flat cinder block.
yeah. They're
I
like an
guess
inch.
just little pavers, but they're long.
Yeah, they're 2 inches thick.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
eight
yeah,
8 by 16, I believe.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those, and just set them up on their end, long ways, and go
yeah,
around.
yeah.
I think that would work as long as we can get. I don't want them all wonky.
Well, you got to figure out a way to lock them together.
How are we gonna do that? Grout, mortar.
Well, I mean, you can mortar them together, but they're going to crack as the ground moves.
Yeah, they
I
will.
mean, you could always lay a piece of rebar on the top of it, and just put you a cap, like a uh, sacrete. Just put your little rounded cap on something like that, and let that rebar kind of hold them at the top.
I could
I'm
stick
creating an
rebar
awful
in the
lot of work
bottom
for
and do
Poppy,
the
aren't
same thing. Do what?
I? I'm creating an awful lot of work for Poppy, aren't I?
It's okay. I'm wondering if I could put rebar in the bottom of the trench too
Yeah,
and fill it with mortar or
yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
cement,
You could do
stick
that.
it in there, and then do the cap along the top.
That would
And
lock.
like you said, just a little rounded cap. It doesn't have to be
You could do it
fancy.
with your hands. Just just
I
throw
sure could.
throw,
I could just
throw a
mold it
wad
with my
on there,
hand.
and just pull you.
Yeah.
Put a design in it if you want. If you don't care how it looks, you can get pieces of rebar and just drive them in the ground behind that block. Your neighbors will see it, but you won't. And you could also, Charlotte, you could also look into just regular concrete blocks. Sometimes you catch some regular concrete blocks on sale.
Yeah.
They're cheaper than the flat ones.
Are they?
Yeah,
Are you talking about the ones with the holes in them? And
yeah, yeah. The square holes.
okay.
Yeah, they're 8 inches
Yeah.
tall, 8 inches
And
wide, and 16 inches long.
I can put those around the outside of the fence.
You can just lay them down there, and they'll probably hold it. I mean, they won't fall over.
Right. Huh. And I could even put some dirt in them and grow some stuff in the holes.
You absolutely could. You can make them
Stuff.
suckers disappear. You put the right thing in there.
Yeah. And I could do some flowers. And
Tell Poppy I'm
okay,
sorry.
okay. I will tell Poppy that you apologize from the bottom of your heart. Easier on Poppy too, just to lay blocks down instead of having to fancy something up. That would make it easier for him.
Yep.
And look, I had a real elaborate plan and rednecked it up a whole bunch to keep him from having to do too much work.
Well,
Because
if you're buying a whole concrete block, and you're running a ring around,
uh
if they start shifting, you can always pull it back, and run a stake or something down in the hole.
right.
to keep that thing from wandering back or wandering forward.
Exactly. Yeah,
And rebar's
yeah.
cheap. I keep saying rebar, but I use that a lot because it's cheap. I can buy a whole length of that for like $4.
Well, and these people are using cattle panels for trellises. Cattle
Right, I've
panels
got
are not
some.
cheap anymore. Well, you can use that. What's it called? It looks like a fence that you put in concrete,
Yeah, yeah,
and
it's
I forget the name of it.
reinforcement
Re-
wire.
yeah, you can use
Yeah,
that, and it acts the same way as a cattle panel, and that stuff is really cheap.
I bought some cattle panels here a while
Mhm.
back, a few years ago. I think I got four of them, and
Yeah.
that's what I made the trellis. That's what I put up on the trellis where I want to grow these vines.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I've got two left on still leaning up against the fence
No
that
kidding.
I'm telling the wife I'd like to. I need to put in a new side gate, and I'm considering maybe just putting in some 4x4 post, four of them like I did on the trellis.
Mhm. Mhm.
Make something to sort of match the trellis, but make it to where I can lay that cattle panel up and make an arch
Oh, you should put some climbing roses on
and
it.
put some roses or put some morning glory or something like that that would look almost like a tunnel, an Alice in Wonderland tunnel type thing you walk through. And
Beautiful.
I just haven't done it. But
Yeah, I get it.
that's one of
I
the
get it.
plans.
Well, and that's one of our plans too, is I want a trellis like that, but I want to put furniture under it
Oh, so
and still grow my vegetables and my flowers and stuff up the trellis,
you're wanting like a
even if it,
pergola.
yeah, kind of like that.
Okay,
But
okay.
it'll be more of a trellis because I'll have to put the fencing or whatever I use, but on one side so it can grow up
Right,
and over,
right.
you know, and maybe even on three sides. And I might even be able to in the wintertime fit some curtains
Yeah,
around so
yeah,
we can get some heat in there, maybe.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's the idea that I've got going around in my head about it. Now, up back here, we're going to put our grilling porch. That's what I'm calling it, the grilling porch, where I'm going to put my black stone and the smoker and maybe a rocking chair or something like that.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna smoke, you need a nice chair to sit next to it.
Exactly. And I need a beer fridge full of sweet tea out there, you know?
That's it. People ask me all the time, how long does it take to cook a brisket? And I say about 7 beers.
Say I don't drink beer, but I can sure drink some sweet tea. I'm not going to drink no fireball while I'm trying to smoke nothing. I'll burn the whole house down.
Hey,
Jazz,
Rebecca,
how are you doing? Thanks for coming in tonight and visiting with us.
do you go by
Uh,
Jazz, Rebecca, or Fiber? This is a new one for me. Has she
this
been in here
is,
before?
well, she was in my chat last week with her husband, Matt, the rocking crocheter.
Oh, okay, okay. All
It,
right.
yeah,
I'll put the pieces together here eventually.
okay. Jazz or Rebecca.
I'm glad you joined us.
Yeah. Um, and I'm still working on squares, Jazz, but I don't do no crocheting on Grumpus's channel. I might show off some stuff once in a while, but I don't crochet.
This open channel, open mic night.
Like night. So anyhow, that's the plan I have. Cause we're gonna okay, here's another plan we have. I gotta find a place that will sell me a shed in a kit. Like I guess like the sheds at Home Depot and Lowe's. But I'm
Okay.
so afraid to buy one because number one, I need a really big one. It's gonna cost a lot of money. Number two, I'm not sure of the quality of those sheds. And now I know with the way Poppy puts things together, he would do a fantastic job and it would never come down
Yeah, yeah.
unless a tree fell on it or something. He even does the same things with those, like those $30 bookcases you can get at Walmart.
Yeah, yeah.
He wood glues them and screws them,
Oh,
and I mean,
absolutely.
he really reinforces it, and
Right.
I don't have a problem with them falling apart or falling, you know.
Well,
So,
some of those sheds, I mean,
mhm,
some of them are so cheap, you can't buy materials and build your own cheaper.
right, right,
But
right.
if you find one that's got good bones that you can reinforce a little bit when you put it up, you can
Mhm,
get a little bit more life out of them that way. Because you got to make sure it doesn't blow away where you're at.
exactly. And that's another thing. We've got an 18 by 18 concrete slab out there that
I'm
another shed
jealous.
is sitting on top of. And
So I'd have me a 20
hey
by
Nat,
20 deck on top of that thing.
well, I would love to, but Poppy really needs a shed slash workshop,
Hey, Matt,
and I would like to do that for him because when Violet moves out, I'm going to have the ultimate indoor she shed in her bedroom,
gotcha.
and he needs to have a place where he can keep all his tools and maybe keep his boat.
Do we have a boat update?
We have a boat, and he's got the engine in it. He's got something else, but he doesn't have any steering yet, and no seating. Well, there is some seating, but not appropriate seating. Um, he still needs to buy more things.
I got you.
But the
Okay.
engine works great. I mean, it cranks.
Cool. I can't
It
wait.
cranks. Um, I just know what's going to happen when he puts it out there in that water.
I, I,
And
I sure hope you're recording. 'Cause if you don't want to, I may have to make that trip with a camera myself. That's one of them here. That's one of them hold my beer moments.
exactly, exactly. And I keep telling him, Puppy, this is not a good idea. This is really not a good idea. I said, because he's like, oh, I'll bring Murphy with. No, you ain't bringing my son with you. Are you insane? You're going to have to be out there by yourself with a life jacket and a flare. Because, that's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be interesting. Um, what is a Oh,
Traeger.
Matt, what Traeger
Yeah,
barbecues?
Traegers for the people that have them that I've talked to, they love them. Uh, Personally, I think Traeger is kind of the Apple of phones. I think you pay a lot for the name. I think there's some stuff out there that's as good or better, probably cheaper, but I can't knock it because I don't have one. Uh, I have a pellet grill in the box. I think this is the fourth summer coming up for it. In fact, I just told my wife the other day, I said, I need to get that thing out and put together. Maybe I could do that while I'm rehabilitating. I
Yeah.
said, because that box is probably disintegrated by now. I've got it wrapped in a tarp, but, it's probably rotted out by now. So I hope the thing works. But I've got a pit boss. My brother has one. He likes it. But if you're watching the videos, YouTube videos, I mean, Pit Boss, Traegers, some of the others, I mean, whoever owns it loves it.
Okay.
I don't know anybody that's got, you know, three or four different ones that can run a comparison. Nobody I know.
Yeah.
So I really didn't answer your question. I don't think they're junk, if that's what you're asking. I am not a
That's a
pellet
fair
cooker guy.
answer.
I'm not a pellet cooker guy. So not saying I wouldn't be or I couldn't be, but
I know you like your fire.
the to me a pellet grill's just taking the fun out of it.
Yeah.
I'm in it
Well,
for the
everything's
fun.
automated, right?
It's like an outdoor oven. You set it,
Yeah.
set your temperature, you walk away with it.
Right.
Which is
And they even have apps now that will
oh yeah.
notify
Well, I
you.
mean, if
Yeah.
that's what you're into, I mean, people's telling me, so well, that's what you need to get one. You can set it and forget it and go do other things.
But that's not what you like out of
What I want to
smoking.
do is park my ass in a lawn chair with a few beers for about 12 or 14 hours, and I don't mow and cook on the same day. I, I mean, I'll give the meat away just so I can sit down for most of the day. That's not to say there's not other just as good way to cook a brisket. It's just I like the romance of the fire, stoking it,
and,
mastering
and
it.
they're taking it easy.
I mean, a fire is a live thing, and I like
Yeah.
to be able to control it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be back in just a minute,
All
Grumpus.
right. So Matt, if that's, I mean, from what I understand, they're pretty easy. You set them up and let them do your thing. I think anymore when they first came out, the argument was you can't get a true smoke flavor out of it like you can an offset with real wood and stuff like that. But nowadays, I mean, we're talking a few years down the road now. Nowadays, most of them's got like a smoke setting. They'll throw extra smoke out there. All your pellets are made out of real wood anyway, so it doesn't matter if you're burning a board or sawdust. If it's going to give you the same. If it's oak, it's going to taste like oak. So it's just a convenience thing. Probably pellets might cost a little bit more than buying firewood. I don't know because I haven't bought any, but I would think pellets got to be processed to go through a lot more refining and stuff than if you just order a cord of wood and start throwing it out there. But I would not be afraid of one. I would not trash it because it's not the way I want to cook. I mean, a lot of people think I'm nuts for getting out in July and August in Texas and building a big fire and sitting next to it. But that's just what I do. So anyway, like I said, I'm not afraid of one, and I think like anything else, it's got its purpose. You've probably got your favorite frying pan. I've got my favorite frying pan. Everybody likes different knives. So everybody uses different kind of knives when they prepare their meats and stuff. So you do you. But as far as the Traeger, I think the Traeger name has a lot to do with the price.
Mm.
That's just my opinion. I think an electric Chevrolet could probably be cheaper than the other alternatives because the Teslas you're paying for a Tesla name. So I think the Tesla is probably the Apple of the group.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you can still be one of the cool kids with a pellet smoker.
What a cool kid. My goodness.
Whatever gets you outside and enjoying the weather and having a good day, I'm all over it.
That's right. That's right. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn on my camera. Um,
So have you
I'm
used your
trying.
flat top much? Your Blackstone?
Have I?
Yeah.
Not since last summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just kind of sitting out. Well, the frame of it is sitting out there. I don't. keep the flat top. I keep it on top of my refrigerator to
Oh,
keep it
okay.
from
So it's not all
rusting.
rusted up.
Right, right.
Okay, okay, I got you.
And but the unit is out there. But that's one of the main reasons I want my grilling porch is because I don't have enough room on that porch to put a table next to me and prepare things, and I don't like taking it from the kitchen out there.
I understand exactly.
And like when your food is finished, you want to put it on a plate and set it down. I can't set it down. I got to bring it straight in the house. And it's really frustrating. So that's why I want the grilling porch, because I want to put my Blackstone out there, have a table between the Blackstone and the smoker.
Yeah, yeah.
But, and it won't be a long one. It can't be, but it can be enough that I can at least set things down or, you know, chop up some vegetables or something like that on it.
You could run by some of these stone places, the sells countertops and things like that. A
Got
lot of
one right
times,
down the
a
road.
lot of times they'll have remnants, little pieces
For
that you
cheap.
that you can buy pretty cheap because they're not big enough for anything else. It's a cutoff. And a lot of times they've done charged somebody for that whole sheet of stone. And if
Right.
they end up with a cutoff, somebody else has already paid for that. So a lot of times you can get them pretty cheap because they won't match anything else that's out there.
Right.
But you get your hands on something like that, and Poppy throw a little 2x4 frame underneath it to hold it up.
Right.
That'll hold up
Maybe
to the
put a
weather.
shelf under it for some, you know,
That'll hold up to
cast
the
iron
weather that
skillet
way.
or something. Yeah, yeah, I like that idea. We also have a restore here too, where you can sometimes find granite pieces like that.
Oh, okay, okay,
You know, and I don't mind buying from the restore because it all goes to Habitat for Humanity anyway, and
okay.
that makes me feel kind of good. The electric smoker is for the fish. Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, I guess I got behind in chaps. Uh, well, I got way behind.
To the backyard, so I could be in the pool at the same time. Now that's the life right there. Manage the fire, take a dip, and have some good food.
Yep, that's it. That's it.
But that's one of the things I'm going to get Poppy a smoker for Father's Day. Don't tell him I said so. He might be watching us, but don't tell
I'm
him I
not.
said.
Oh, he's not watching us.
Probably not.
Ain't too many people watching us.
Well, yeah, he's probably sleeping by now. He usually starts off watching us, and then I find him in there snoring.
Yeah, Susie's got the right idea. That's the way I think about it.
Yeah.
I've had some of my best naps next to the smoker.
This cat, good grief.
So Matt, are
Oh,
you cooking the fish, or are you drying them, just smoking them to dry, or I'm curious. Well, I'm not going to say a whole lot about that.
show the cat. Okay, hang on. I'll have to go get her. Come here, Spooky.
I could probably show you mine. Let's see if I can find.
Yeah. You
Let's see if
got Smokey over there?
Smokies on. Let's see.
She she ain't never too far
Uh,
from me.
well, that's. I guess I don't have a shot of her in here.
You don't.
Well, she's too far out of camera range.
Come here, Spooky.
But no, Smokey's here next to me, is sleeping. She's here ever live.
Okay, here's a kitty kitty. Say hello. She's chirping at me. This is the one that we picked up at my daughter's house on Halloween, remember?
Uh huh.
She's a sweet, wonderful kitty. She's just very needy. Well, she's friendly to everybody. She wants attention from everybody. And I've never experienced that in a cat before. Um,
Well, that's the way Smokey is. If I sit
yeah.
down, she's wanting in my lap.
This one too. She wants to be right next to you all the time. But she's a good kitty. She's probably the nicest one in the whole house.
She looked pretty calm.
She is. What are you doing? But Birdie, she's sleeping with Poppy, I guess, because usually she's out here trying to climb on my shoulder. And at first, when she jumped up there, I thought it was Birdie, but it's not. It's Spooky. You
What you
want to
call it?
see her?
Spooky?
Spooky,
Spooky.
because we found her on Halloween.
I hear you.
Kids thought that was a good idea. And at that point, I was so irritated that they brought home another cat that I didn't care what they named her. But she's turned out to be a good one. I still need to go get her fixed. I haven't done that yet, and I ought to be ashamed of myself.
She doesn't go outside, does she?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And all the other cats in the house are fixed. But, it's kind of miserable for them to go through that heat and all and not find a husband.
That sounds good, Matt.
It does. It sounds delicious.
So I've not tried to do
Anything
anything like that.
I wish I knew how to do something like that.
I was afraid. I'd be afraid to smell the inside of my smoker up and I wouldn't get rid of it.
Well,
I'd
maybe
almost,
that's why
I'd
he
almost
only
want a
used.
dedicated, yeah, just a dedicated smoker just for the fish.
Yeah. Thank you, Susie. I need to get my dog fixed. Yeah, yeah. We just got our dog fixed about, I don't know, right before Christmas. He was going on a year old when we did it. I should have done it before then too, but you know what? I didn't want a dog that remained a puppy forever. So I let him get a little bit of hormones so he would know to be a dog, if that makes sense. She's got one buddy stays outside. And he would you know what? My Julesy used to be my garden cat, and he would go outside with me when I gardened. He also used to hunt birds, and he killed a beautiful red-headed woodpecker
Mm.
one afternoon, and it broke my heart in half, and I
How you
had to
doing,
shame
Asia?
him. But he couldn't help it because he's a cat, and that's what cats do.
Mm-hmm. How are you, Asia? That's a new name for me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in,
Appreciate you stopping by. What brought you in?
kitty cat. Fire barbecue. Hey, you can't have my yarn. You go away. You,
That's good to know, Susie. So you smoke salmon in your regular smoker, and it doesn't leave any residue in the pit. Because that's the only thing that's been holding me back from smoking any fish. I generally do fish on the gas grill. Just scrolling through. Okay, well, she let her
well, thank
fingers through the walking.
um, Susie. You said your dog is gets anxious about going to the vet, or when you talk to her about getting fixed. 'Cause, your vet can give them something to relax them. because my dog does not like to have his nails done at all, and he screams like a little girl every time they take him back to clip his nails. And now they have to sedate him just to clip his nails because he's such a baby. Electric smoker for that. See, he said his electric smoker is for the fish, and that's all he uses it for.
Yeah, see, that's
That's
probably
smart.
the way I would lean.
Mhm. I think that's a good idea.
Now that I think Pit Boss has an electric smoker that I could get for something like that.
Well, so does Academy.
That it
I
is
don't
with
know if it's Pit
Academy.
Boss, but
Yeah, yeah, that's the one at Academy I'm thinking of.
is it? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Because me and Poppy looked at him a couple weeks ago. Yeah, try not to talk in front of her.
yeah. I try real hard not to be one of these guys that keeps collecting cookers.
Right,
You know, there's a lot of guys I know on YouTube through the YouTube. Man, they've got 8 or 9 cookers out back,
right.
and
That's a
I
lot.
don't have the room to be honest with you.
Come on. It's like having 8 or 9 cars. How many can you drive at once?
Well, it's like having 25 pots and pans. How many of those you need? You end up with your favorite, and the
Right,
rest of them just hang there.
right, right. Or sit under the cabinet or whatever. So, yeah.
You know, I've got my chain in the kitchen with all my pots hanging on it,
Mhm.
and my sister-in-law was in town one time. She looked up there and she said, "How many pots and pans do you think you need?"
What?
I told her, I said, "Well, you know, I hit a sale at Sam's one year, and they were tri-ply stainless,
Okay.
and I had been looking at all clad, and I'd saved up money for all clad like 3 different times. Once I had the money, I just couldn't spend it on
Couldn't do
pots
it.
and pans. But anyway, Sam's had these this set of pots and pans with lids and stuff for like 160 bucks, and they cooked just as good as the two all clad pans that I had.
No kidding.
You can't hardly tell them apart, and I like the handles better than the all clads. So make a long story short, I bought me a set, and me and Vicky had been dating for about a year, and she didn't have hardly anything to cook with, so I got her a set, not thinking that somewhere down the road we would be merging. So I got
That's funny.
2 full sets of pots and pans hanging on a chain, and I got like 1 or 2 favorites that I use, and the rest of them just gather dust. I gotta wash them every time I pull one down.
Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. It's very comfortable, believe it or not. I like it. When I made this sweater, Grumpus. Um, when I first made it, I didn't think I was gonna like it because the ruffle here is kind of bulky.
Uh huh.
But as it relaxed and, it got used to being worn,
Okay.
it relaxed a lot, and now it's not bulky, and this is a really warm sweater, and it goes all I mean, it's long, it goes past my booty, and I like that because yeah, I like that.
Susie got 5 girls. See, I got grill
5
envy.
5
The
grills.
only,
Oh my
the only
goodness.
thing holding me back is I don't have the room.
Yeah, see, we don't have the room either, and so I want 1 smoker and 1 Blackstone, and that's it. Of course, I might would get a little electric smoker for fish, but I also have a crawfish pot and, a fish fryer, and that kind of stuff too. That you got to use that stuff outside. You can't do that in the
Yeah,
house.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I hardly ever fry in the house anymore.
yeah,
I mean, you've got the mess to deal with, but it's the smell.
yeah, yeah. Ugh,
You know, you fry something, you smell it for the next 4 days.
exactly. Especially if it's fish, especially or shrimp or ugh.
Yeah, Susie, Charlotte makes a new sweater every live show.
I do not stop it. The one before this was a blanket. Remember?
Yeah.
It wasn't a sweater. It was a blanket. And now I'm working on a granny square Afghan.
Well,
And
Susie,
instead of giving it
go ahead. Go ahead.
to one of my kids, I'm keeping it for me.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to put it on my bed when I'm done with it.
You can truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Susie, I built the greenhouse. It's been quite a few years ago. Well,
You
in
should
fact,
see it.
you saw it in my video on the arbor.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what I did was, I found some surplus windows. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm telling you what I did. And I got my windows first, and that dictated the size and shape of the greenhouse that I built.
Hmm. Hmm.
And years ago, I belonged to a koi fish club where we went to other people's homes all the time. And a lot of them had greenhouses. So I was always curious asking about them. And just about everybody I talked to had to cover the greenhouse in the summertime to keep things from cooking. So when I built my greenhouse, I just built it with as much glass around it as I could. And I put a regular roof on the top, just with shingles. And it's done very well. I mean, I put a heater, I closed all the windows and put a heater out there this last cold snap, and my greenhouse never got below 44 degrees. And part of it is that roof help hold the heat in.
Right.
And then in the summertime,
How's
you
your
just open up all the windows.
how's your staghorn do?
Staghorn, I think, made it just fine.
So
I covered it up
exciting.
with the tarp,
Right.
and then I had that one side window of the greenhouse. I opened it up, and that let just enough heat escape
Right.
and got up underneath that tarp. I'm sure I've got a few green or burn ends on
Sure.
the
Yeah. I would
fronds and things
expect
like
that.
that. But that thing's
Mhm.
pretty hardy. They're hard to kill, but the freeze will get them.
Sure they will. Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, I'm glad you saved it
Oh,
because I
I
was
am too.
worried.
That'd break my heart to lose that.
I know it would. I know it would.
When I got that thing, Charlotte, it was about the size of a tennis ball.
And how many years has that been?
It had one little front. They had this thing wired up to a piece of 4-inch fencing,
Okay.
about a foot long. It had it wired up to that. And like I said, it was they call it the shield. So the shield was about the size of I'd say a tennis ball, and it had two little fronds coming out of it, maybe 4 to 6 inches long. And I've had that thing now. See, I've been in the house for I've had that thing probably a good 30 to 35 years, and it's got to weigh every bit of 150 pounds. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got, and since it's a hanging, it grew round across the bottom and
Right.
everything like that.
Hmm.
So that thing is probably the size of a big beach ball.
Wow. That's
And
crazy.
before I built the arbor for it, the last time we tried to move it, I put a pipe and hung the hook on a pipe and then me and Vicky put it on our shoulders to try to move it in the house, and
Yeah.
it buckled the pipe.
No way.
It buckled the pipe.
Gosh.
So we ended up. It's got a permanent home under that arbor now, and
Yeah.
I'll just build stuff around it to keep it alive because I can't move it anymore.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, a
Mhm.
good gardener would probably tear it apart and repot it all up and get
And
about
maybe
six more
propagate
plants
some.
out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that thing is probably worth $500-600 if you had to go buy it.
Heck yeah. Or more.
But I
Or
don't have to worry
more.
about anybody. Anybody steals it, I ain't gonna mess with nobody that big anyway.
I wouldn't either. No, no, sir. Um, but she'd like to have a smokehouse too, but need the greenhouse. Yeah, greenhouse would be my priority too. Loved y'all talking earlier about raising pets. Well, that'll probably be a topic of conversation for a little while.
We just getting started. And the spring's right around the corner.
That's right.
Well,
I need to get.
I planted
Go ahead.
mustard greens,
Yeah, how'd that
and
go?
they grew out beautifully.
Yeah,
Didn't look like anything ate on them. No holes in the leaves. I mean, nice
right.
deep green. In fact, I told Vicky, I said I may plant that whole flower bed full of them just for ground cover.
Yeah, yeah.
And the leaves
Well,
got
you don't want to do that in the summertime. They'll
nice
molt.
and big, and I never cut a one of them. Never cut any one of them.
I love mustard green plants, but I will say this: they only last a while. You
Yeah,
know, right now mine are bolting, so the
mine are
yellow
too.
flowers are coming up. Okay, so that's what they do, and they will do that all summer long,
Now, did you
quicker
cover
and
yours?
quicker.
Did you cover
They like
yours?
it. With snow.
Okay. Well, see, I had mine covered. I didn't know what was going to happen with them.
I didn't cover them, nothing. Now, after the snow melted, I got new growth on them. Some of the leaves were bit, by the frost and all, but I got more leaves coming out now. I just can't eat them now because they're going to be bitter because they're starting to bolt,
Yeah,
and that's okay.
it made a great ground
Um,
cover.
they wonderful, wonderful, especially in the wintertime.
Deer jerky.
Um,
Boy, that sounds good.
sure does. Matt likes mustard greens. That's one of my favorite vegetables to grow
One of my
and to
favorite
eat.
greens. Yep.
Yep, I love them, and I love collard greens too. But I don't grow those as well as I do mustard green. Well, like you said, the bugs don't mess with them.
That's what I liked
Um,
about them.
yeah,
I mean, a
they
lot of
don't
stuff
get.
you grow to eat, you've got to beat the bugs to them.
Yes, exactly. And collard greens are a good example of that. Mm. In fact, the bugs got my collard greens this year before I could eat them.
Did they really?
It's okay. I mean, I can grow them again next year. I don't care. But this year, I've got to. I need to buy a new sprayer because mine broke, and I want to mix up some of that. It's called BT, and it's supposed to kill anything wormy, like army worms, hornworms.
Yeah, yeah.
In fact, it's supposed to kill the vine-borne bugs too. The only problem with that is you've got to inject it into the stem of the plant, and I'm not sure that I have the patience for that. But but that being said, um, I want to get two sprayers, one for that and one for my Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew. And I'm hoping to spray about every week to 10 days.
We
Just
put
woke up from a
we
nap.
put we put Quentin
Quentin,
to
that was a
sleep.
that was a quick nap.
That's that's okay, Quentin. Sometimes I put myself to sleep. Myself to sleep.
Oh yeah, Matt. That's the way to eat some mustard greens right there. Olive oil and garlic. Or you could use some bacon grease. That's the southern way to do that. Um, what was I going to say? I forgot. It don't matter.
Well, I'm trying to think of things I can grow that I can eat, but I don't have to eat it. Stuff that still looks nice,
Swiss chard.
and the bugs don't destroy it. I guess I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to plant all summer long. I can just get something in the spring, let it go.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, the
Um,
mustard greens. It looked pretty, even though
okra.
I
Nothing
didn't eat
bothers
any of it. It's a
okra.
great looking plant.
Yeah, it is. And grow some okra plants. Got beautiful flowers on them.
I'll have to try it. I don't care for okra, but the wife
I
does.
don't either.
But if it's a good looking plant, I'm open for it. And it takes the
It's a
heat pretty good, doesn't it?
yes, it does. Shoot, okra grows here when nothing else will grow. In August, September,
Uh huh.
Um, yeah, sometimes okra can have a slow start depending on the weather, but once it gets going, you can't stop it. And if you have neighbors that like okra, they'll love you forever. Just bag them up and send them over there to your
I
neighbors.
hate I hate to feed them. They won't go away.
Or here's one thing you could do. Um, yeah, Clint, Monday is my crochet stream, and I start at about 9 o'clock, sometime between 9 and 9:30. Um, depending on my children and how much racket they trying to make. But but yeah, okra. Call, text Mona. She'll y'all can meet at the Jiffy store down the road or something and switch off. She'll make you a beanie for some okra. But yeah, because Mona really likes okra.
That's all right, Quint. You can still be manly.
Of course. Let me tell you something. There are so many men who have crochet channels, Matt over here included. Matt, Matt, the Rockin' Crocheter, he has a YouTube channel that he does with his wife there, Rebecca, Fiber Jazz, Fiber Jazz Rebecca, and
Yeah.
they do a crochet channel together, and they both crochet and knit and do all kinds of yarn art.
Yeah, Matt, I grow a lot of basil.
I love to grow some basil
In fact, I usually go to HEB. They'll sell basil in
in the little
in
pot.
water rooted, and I can get that for $2.99. And the nursery's wanting $4 and $5 for a plant
Yeah,
that
it's
same
ridiculous.
size.
Yeah,
And
ridiculous.
I'll go to the store and just load up and just plant those.
Well, and when they get big, you can take cuttings off and water root your own
Yeah,
and just keep it going all summer long.
yeah. We
That's what I do.
basil and rosemary is something generally I got in the garden all the time.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And I love to have green onions in my garden. And they're so simple to grow. But now the bugs like the green onions. The little tiny, when they're first coming up, the little
Yeah,
seedlings,
yeah,
you go out there one day and you'll have a bunch of them. And the next day you go out there and there'll be none left. And you're like, what the heck just happened? What is that saying?
Jazz is asking if you can eat flowers, okra flowers.
Uh, I don't know, Jazz. I honestly don't know. I've never done it. Um, I know you can do squash blossoms. I do know that. But I don't know. They're in the hibiscus family, if that helps. What's advice for growing rosemary? Plant it and leave it alone.
Yep, that's. I have killed so many rosemary plants by putting them in the flower beds, and they get
Mm,
watered with everything else.
mm.
and have a hard time keeping them alive. And me and the wife went up to Huntsville. They've got a little square downtown.
Mhm.
Went up there one day, was walking around that square, and they had rosemary growing everywhere. It was coming up out
Mhm.
of the sidewalk cracks. It was up between the light poles and old concrete walls. And I
Right?
told her, I says, I guess we're just taking too good care of it. So this last one I got, I threw it in the pot, set it off to the side, and watered it when I remembered. And it did just great. So it's one of them things you plant it and forget it, like Charlotte said.
I have never watered my rosemary in 4 years since I've had it. It came in a little 4-inch pot. I planted it at the northwest end of my house and forgot about it. And now it is chest high and probably 3 feet in diameter. It's huge. It's
Yeah.
absolutely huge. Um, and I love it. Yeah, don't water it. Don't do anything to it. Don't give it no fertilizer, nothing.
And Susie,
Let
on the basil, just you got to make yourself use it because it'll get leggy and all the
yeah,
bottom leaves will fall off. You're thinking it's getting tall, you'll have more basil, but all the bottoms fall off. So you got to use it. Just to keep
yes,
clipping it and using it.
definitely. I use it in everything.
Oh, Quentin, my goodness, I appreciate that, buddy. I'm
Oh, Clint, you're so
I'm,
generous.
I'm really glad you woke up now. Quentin Quentin is a good supporter of a lot of people, so I
He
appreciate
is.
that.
Bless it. Bless it. Bless it. Um, Marshall.
Yeah, Quentin's a good guy. He
Um,
supports a lot of people. Rosemary, anywhere
mine
you
gets
think anywhere you think it won't grow. Full sun on concrete. That's when I've seen it do its best. Between rocks, growing out of sidewalk cracks. You know it's hot.
now. Mine gets in the summertime. It gets full sun, but spring, fall, and winter, it gets anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. And that is because of the way my house is situated on the property and where
Yeah.
the sun is, you know. But I know these things because I garden and I watch the sun all the time.
Well,
I
the,
have
the
a
stuff I
map in
was
my
talking
head.
about up in Huntsville, I mean, nobody's taking care of it. It's just
Right.
weeds. It's just
You
weeds.
don't need I had a woman in the other neighborhood before we sold our house. One of our neighbors had an entire hedge in her front yard of nothing but rosemary. It was a hedge. It was crazy.
Yep,
And
Susie,
she
you
didn't do
watered it.
anything to it either. She just let nature take care of it.
Yeah, overwatered it. That's what I was doing.
And even the soil that I put mine in was not the best soil. I mean, it was just the dirt that came
Yeah.
in the yard. It's a sandy soil though, I will say that. Um,
Well, mine did better this year than it ever has, and
really.
it was in a pot that was cracked, so I had a big
Mhm.
crack run the full length of it. So even if
Yeah.
even if I watered it, it was bone dry in a day
Yeah.
because the pot wasn't holding any water.
I need to get some new goldfish.
Yeah, you do.
I
How's your
only have
lily? Did your lily bloom?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I always miss it. It blew.
Let me guess. It opens at about 9 and it closes around 4.
Yeah, and I'm like, "What? I'm
That's
missing it
why
again."
that's why I started going with tropicals, night blooming tropicals,
Right.
because they'll open up around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and then
Nice.
they don't close up to around 9 or 10 the next day. So I would
Ah,
get to see them. Before they would open after I went to work and close before I could get home to see it.
Right. Well, and it's crazy. I can tell that they bloomed because you can see the shoot.
Oh
And I'm
yeah,
like, where the hell's my flower?
yeah,
I
that's
missed
exactly.
it.
But you're
Missed it.
home all day. You should have caught it.
I sleep all day. What are you talking about? Well, usually from like 7 in the morning until about 11, I'm in this house doing housework and, doing all the stuff. And then I take a nap. And sometimes I take a nap till 1 o'clock, sometimes 2 o'clock. Sometimes, if I'm not sleeping good, I take a nap till Poppy walks in the door at 5. But I'm just excited about crochet. My new grandbaby. Oh yeah, you can make so many cool things. So many cool things. Um, Grumpus, do you mind if I show
Quentin,
him the blanket, the
my
baby
goodness,
blanket I made?
Quentin, buddy, that's so unnecessary, but appreciated at the same time.
Oh my goodness. Quentin, I'll show you the blanket that I made. Do you mind if I show him Grumpus?
No, no, go for it. It's your show
Okay.
too.
Well, no, but I'm on your channel.
That is just over the top, Quentin. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. And it'll go right back into this channel too.
Yeah, with some briskets.
I may I may be able to keep Evie Mucks a couple more months.
Okay, Quentin, I'll back up my thing a little bit so you can see it. I don't know how far back I can get it. Kitty cat, move. This is the blanket I made for the next granddaughter in our family. Now, we don't have a granddaughter coming yet, but if you can see stitches.
Man, that's fancy.
It is fancy, isn't it? I'm so tickled with this blanket. I can't
I,
even
I
tell
don't
you.
have too many people I like enough to put that much work into something for them.
I did this one pretty much for me because I really liked it and I wanted to make it. So I did. And now it's just going to hang out around here until one of my children has a baby girl.
Well, welcome to the tribe, Susie.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome. He is a good man, Quint. He is. You are so correct.
Shh, I got a reputation to keep. Keep it down low on that.
See, don't tell anybody, right? It's like Wesley. Wesley told me the other day. I told him, I said, God, I'm so cold. He said, it's just your heart, honey. And I said, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. He says, well, you waffle between being a marshmallow heart and a frozen heart. How in the world? He accuses me of being a roasted marshmallow because I'm tough on the outside and soft in the middle.
I mean, that's kind of like your kids. You want to hug them one minute and choke them the next.
Slap him around the next. Oh, thank you, Susie. Thank you so much. I, I, uh, I don't usually, but I can take orders if you're interested in something like that. I ain't cheap though. Just letting you know.
I think
Oh,
I don't know if you knew it, Charlotte, but Susie's an ex police.
kidding.
I don't know if
Do we
she
know
just got
in
tired
what
of it or if
state?
she retired.
Are you retired from policing? You know what? My friend Jackie is ex law enforcement as well.
That's right, Matt. One of these days I'm going to get it figured out.
Wasn't that say?
They said that Grumpus is cool when he isn't playing with his mic settings. Hey, I haven't touched it
Yes,
all night. I,
indeed.
I hope you can hear me because I haven't touched it all night.
Oh, she has a granddaughter who's 2 and a grandson who was just born. Oh, wow. I still have my license going back to reserve work. But for the last 10 years, I've owned my own security company. That's amazing. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, my son works for long. I mean, not my son, my husband. What's the difference? My husband works with law enforcement. He is not law enforcement, but he does a lot of work for them on their radios, and he's an electronics guy, so he works on the radios and all the cop car computers and modems and lights and sirens and makes it all talk to each other and work together. So when I call him every day, I call him at work to remind him, "Oh, hey, don't forget we need creamer for the house when you know." And I hear, "Whoop, whoop, whoop." I'm like, man, he's got the best job in the world. Every little boy's dream job, playing with cop cars and fire trucks all day, you know? Okay, okay. Well, Susie, why don't you email me at gulfcoastgranny@gmail.com, and we can talk about what you're looking for, okay? My son, who is my grandchildren's father, just received his police badge. Yay! Boop, 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 boop. That was my celebrating.
Yeah, I think I saw pictures of that, Susie, on your Instagram.
I do it on the same channel, um, Susie. All my stuff is on the same channel, Gulf Coast Granny, and my email is gulfcoastgranny.com, or at Gmail. Thank you, Jane. You're so sweet to me. You ought to make Jane a mod
I can
if
do
she's
that.
interested. Jane is a great moderator. I mean, even just as a contributor, she's great. When she's not moderating, she's posting links for people and dropping channels and reminding people to hit the like button, and wonderful supporter. Okay, great. I'll be looking for you. Will it be from the Susie Rivera email or something similar so it'll trigger my brain? Because you know how we are. I don't have a business email or anything like that because I usually don't do a whole lot of business. So, you know, got his badge one day. Um, oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is so cool, Susie. The daughter in law was trying not to have the baby until she pinned her husband. So she pinned him on one day, and she had the baby the very next. I
That's
love
where they
that.
that's where they come from.
Yeah.
Heck, yeah, I forgot Quentin's a retired policeman too.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And 4-year veteran. So you've been retired for 4 years, Quint? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean military service for 4 years? Thank you, Jane. Yeah, if you want to subscribe to my channel, just click that link that Jane dropped and, well, check out my channel, whatever you want to do with it. Watch it. It's whatever you feel like doing. Just go ahead and click that link. Um, yes, thank you, Quint. Quint, isn't Quint the one that has the no, that's the skipper. No, that numismaniac or something. What is his name? The guy that does the coins, the coin collector guy.
I don't think I follow
You
anybody
don't
that
think you?
point.
Okay, he must have been in a different chat. He must have been. Yeah, it must have had to have been different. So I did all of these today. There's
Wow.
11. I can't believe I did all that today. I
Now, how
really
long does
can't.
it take to do one?
Uh, so it's done. Here, you time me. I'll do one right now. Okay.
I didn't want to put no pressure on you.
It's okay. Just time me, and I'm not going to hurry or anything. I'll just make one. I'll just make one. I don't know how long it takes. It just, yeah.
That's all right, Susie. I think you're out of his jurisdiction.
Yeah, the guy that I'm talking to is a Canadian,
Is this it?
and I'm sorry.
None.
Yes, yes, that's him. That's him. Um, he's a Canadian, and he was in the service. He's a service military service veteran, and he was an law enforcement as well. He's a really cool guy. Really cool guy.
This is a cool guy right here.
Yes, he is. My whole life was serving, but my rewards I get back now. Yes, I get it. I get that. This cat has to be going into heat. She is rubbing all over everything and making these little weird noises.
Yep, it sounds like it to me.
Hmm. Um, so what do you have planned for tomorrow, Grumpus? Besides
Uh,
making food for the game.
I'm
The
gonna
game
have.
doesn't start till late.
Hey, Mona, how you doing?
Ah,
Yeah, I probably need to go to the grocery store and just pick a few things up.
yeah,
But
yeah,
more than likely, I'll just rummage through the freezer and figure out what I'm going to do from that.
yeah.
Because I think
We
everybody's probably going to be at the grocery store tomorrow.
That's what I'm thinking, and you don't want to fight that baloney.
And the stuff I would go to the grocery store for is what everybody else is going for.
Mhm, mhm.
So, I mean, I've got plenty in the freezer, and
Hey, Mona.
thaws
Yeah,
out
I'm
really
sorry.
quick.
Do you like okra, Mona? We were talking about you earlier because Grumpus was wondering what he could grow in his garden. He likes to grow mustard greens. And I said, well, grow yourself some okra. He said he don't eat okra. He wouldn't know what to do with it or who to give it to. I said, well, just text Mona.
If it's a
Y'all can
good,
meet at the Jiffy store and hand it off. I said, you'll make Mona will make you a beanie for some okra.
if it's a good looking plant, I'm all over it.
It's a beautiful plant. It really is. I like it.
There we go.
Totally different though from your mustard greens. I mean, it's tall. It gets really, really tall. Some 8, 7, 8 feet tall.
Oh wow.
And it has these beautiful yellow hibiscus looking flowers.
Oh okay.
And they have little purple centers, real deep, deep, deep
I,
burgundy purple
I might
centers.
have to
They're,
try that.
it's a beautiful plant. Beautiful. In fact, I can't
Four
do it on my phone.
4 years in the Air Force.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's great, Quentin.
Yeah, that's what I told him, that it would take the heat.
So is it one of them things you just keep clipping and it keeps growing?
Yes. You cut them okra off every single day. Boop, 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 boop,
Because the
and you
wife
will.
loves okra. She'll order okra out almost every time
Okay.
because we don't cook it at home.
Okay. Look, I'm all distracted now because I'm talking about okra and I'm not crocheting. You'll never know how long it takes to make one of these. I'm
10
the
years in the
proud
Army.
parent. Okay. See now, my husband was in the Navy for almost 15 years, and he had to retire early because of a health issue, and that made him non-deployable. So he's a 15-year veteran, and um, when my sons came home talking about going in the military, I said this: "Over my dead body, you will." I said that. So only one of them attempted to join the army of all things. And after, after having a dad in the Navy, that was taboo. Um, but he ended up getting really, really sick at boot camp. I mean, really sick with pneumonia. He was in the hospital for a couple weeks, and he was young. Um, and they sent him home and said, "Praying you are no longer allowed to be here."
Thanks, but no thanks.
And I said, you know, I was sad for him because, yeah, he didn't. He was upset about it, but I was so relieved. God, I was so relieved. But that's the only, and I have 4 boys. Those are the only one. That's the only one that ever tried to defy my orders. Now I know for a fact that if Murphy did not have chronic migraines and some other medical issues, that he would definitely want to go in the Air Force. I know that, and I don't think I would have the heart to stop him, um, or
Well, I
try
mean,
to talk him out of it or anything like that.
some young men they get that calling, and
And that's true.
you can't you
That
can't
is true.
you can't stifle it.
Right, right. And I'm a different parent than I was when the other boys were growing up. I'm a little
Right.
smarter, and you know,
I mean,
and I realized,
when I got out of
huh?
high school, a lot of my friends joined service.
Mhm,
This is
mhm.
71. Isn't this is right in the middle of Vietnam, and the draft was out and everything like that, and I'd considered joining the Air Force,
Mhm.
but things at home, oldest son of 5, all that stuff like that. It was
Right,
decided to wait till the draft,
right,
and I was lucky enough not to get those papers.
right,
But my
right.
whole life now, I've felt like I missed something.
You didn't miss anything.
I feel like I missed something because at the time, I mean, I graduated high school at 17.
Mm,
So I already
mhm.
done the math. I could have put in a full 20 years and retired in my 40s and had a
Oh,
whole
yeah,
nother career.
yeah, yeah.
And
Or be dead.
as a 17-year-old child, I got a little weak and I didn't do it. But I'm wishing I'd
Right,
went ahead and done it.
right. Um,
Well,
my dad was. I'm sorry.
there's always that chance of things not the outcome not being what you thought. But
Well, there was a big chance in Vietnam.
well, it was pretty rough at the time.
Yes. I was born in 1965 when my dad was 17. My brother was born in 1966 when my dad was 18. And the only reason he didn't get drafted is because he was married and had 2 children. So I tell him all the time, "Dad, you owe me a debt of gratitude for saving your life."
All right, Matt, Susie, what is soursop?
Oh, that's a fruit.
Is that a fruit?
Mhm. And I don't know where it grows.
Is it, I mean, like an orange or a peach
No.
or something like that? What is it?
Um, well, it's kind of a cross between banana and pineapple and
I
mm,
never heard of such a thing.
oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. Your mom tried to bribe you to didn't work.
Well, my dad was drafted and went to Korea,
Hmm.
and he didn't have the best experience over there. I mean, there was 7 kids in that family. He was the
Oh
only one.
my.
He was the only one. His dad was gone, had died, so he
Hmm.
was the only one that had a job supporting the family.
Mm.
And when they drafted him, he had pretty red ass about the whole thing. So his
Yeah.
experience in the army wasn't. And then
He
when
was
I started talk
resentful. Yeah.
when I started talking about maybe joining the service, all that other stuff come to surface. And
Right.
uh,
Right.
as a kid, you just don't bow up against it that much. Especially, I didn't bow up against my parents.
Right. Right. Um.
But like I said, I always feel like I missed something.
Probably a. Never mind. I'm gonna say it. A
Well,
bayonet in the gut.
yeah, high
That's what
school,
you meant. Or becoming a prisoner of war, or
or
I don't know,
becoming a
maybe a
learning a trade, making something out of myself, having a nice pension at 40. I mean, there's pluses to go with the
orange.
negatives.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. Wesley does have a nice retirement slash disability income,
Yeah,
and if the world went to hell in a handbasket and all we had left was his VA income, we could survive. It wouldn't be pleasant, but we could do it. Um, and we have insurance benefits for the rest of our lives,
yeah.
which
I mean, there's always that.
that
As a,
was
as a
the
kid, I wasn't thinking about that.
right, but that right there, those insurance benefits made it all worth it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Truly.
I'm sure.
Uh, that heart attack cost me about 6 grand, and that was it.
Well,
Price
I may
tag
not.
didn't.
If I'd had something like that, I may not have had a heart attack because I'd have went and saw a doctor 10 years sooner.
There you go. See, see. No, you wouldn't have.
So I can blame this heart attack on my mom for talking me out of joining.
Okay, then you do that. Let's see how that works out for you. See how that works out. Your mom will pull out a switch on you.
Well, she might.
She probably
She's gonna be
would.
here in a couple of weeks.
I know she will be so happy to lay eyes on you.
Yeah, it'd be good to see her. She hasn't been down here in a few years.
Well, that ain't what I mean, Grumpus. You're her baby, and you've been in bad health,
I'm
and
her oldest baby, so yeah, I'll
it
always
don't
be her
matter.
baby.
It don't matter.
She was
You
gonna
still
she was gonna try to figure out a way to come down, and I said, unless you're a doctor, you can't help me.
well, but now she can be your mama and just, you know,
Yeah,
put her hands on you and say, "Oh, my baby, I'm so happy you made it."
I'll let her do stuff for me while she's here.
Oh, you let her bring you a Coke
I'll, I'll
or a
let her
coffee.
I'll let her have dinner ready for me when I get home from work, and she loves that. She loves doing
Yeah, yeah. I love to cook when my boys come home. I do. Because I know they'll eat it. These ragamuffins in this house, they won't eat anything. Soursop and passion fruit are your favorite. Man, I like soursop a lot. I'm
it.
not a
I've never heard
huge
of it.
fan. It's it's a I
Is it a
believe
tree?
it's a Central American subtropical fruit.
Yeah,
I
Susie.
believe.
Susie says she had it in Jamaica.
Okay, okay.
So is it a tree? Is it a bush? What
Oh no,
is
I
it, like a
never grown
banana
it.
tree? Banana plant or whatever they call them?
Well, Google it. You
Yeah,
got
I
three
could.
computer screens there.
I could.
Google is our friend.
That's why I let the chat in so they can do all my work for me.
I don't know why YouTube. It has Vicki Lawrence on my. What?
Spiky green looking fruit.
Mhm.
I may have seen one of those in the grocery store.
We might have. And never knew what it was.
Probably not.
If y'all have flea markets, I bet you they, because here where I live, there's a flea market and they have like a produce section, and you can get all kinds of really cool fruits and vegetables and peppers and
I got a
just
Fiesta.
you got what?
I got a Fiesta,
Who's that?
which is pretty much a south of the border grocery store.
Oh, see, I wish we had something like that here.
I mean, they got the good produce department, that's for sure.
Okay.
I'm probably thinking of something else. Susie, do they have Fiesta grocery stores up there where you're at?
Susie, are you in Texas?
Yeah, she's at Arlington outside Dallas.
Oh, okay. Not at Fiesta.
Okay, that answers that.
Well, there was some other weird looking fruit at Fiesta, huh? See, I like to buy those interesting looking fruits sometimes and just taste them.
Jazz says the trees can grow up to 30 feet.
Well, I know that Mona's trying to grow one right now.
Well, we'll see how she does. If it's 30
She's
feet,
got all kinds.
it'll spread out to my house.
Right, right. Hey, I bet you she'd trade you a soursop for some okra. I bet you she would. Okay, let's see, where am I? Excuse me. You know, Violet came down with the plague last week. At
Yeah,
least
that's what
that's
you
what
were
the
saying.
doctor
She doing
said.
better?
Let me tell you something. I think she was misdiagnosed because the next morning, after I spent all that money getting her to a doctor and them doing all them tests on her, the very next morning, she's sitting up in her bed doing homework on her computer. I said, "Hey, honey, how you feeling this morning?" She goes, "I feel fine. I went to the gym this morning." I'm, I'm like, "Are you serious?" So she didn't feel good for like maybe 2.5 days, and then she was absolutely fine. Absolutely.
I'll be darned.
Guanabana. Guanabana in Spanish. Okay. Okay. So do the trees grow in Latin America? Just curious. Or South America? I translated well, didn't I? See, I am very fluent in typos.
I read typos the best because that's how I spell.
Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. There we go.
I bet I could do some ribs tomorrow morning.
Ooh, I bet you could.
Those things will thaw out pretty quick in a sink of water.
Yeah, we will. Is that what you want? Are you going to do like pork ribs or beef ribs? Like
It'd
baby
be,
backs or?
it'd be pork ribs, probably
Mm-hmm.
some spares. I know I got some in the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
So if I threw them in some water, well, I'd probably do it before I go to bed tonight. I'd get them on the pit by 6 this morning. They'll be ready by 6 in the evening.
They
Probably do them a little
should.
quicker if I push my temps.
I was gonna say you don't have to cook them so low.
Yeah, I think they
What
taste
would you?
better that way, but
Well, they probably do,
they're
but
more tender.
yeah. What temperature do you cook ribs on?
I usually do around 225, and then when I wrap them, I'll crank the heat up to 275, even 300 sometimes if I'm
And at
trying to
what
push
point do
it.
you wrap them?
Well, I'll check them and see what kind of bend they got on them, and generally you pick them up, and they'll bend, and you see a little bit of cracking in the surface,
Right.
a little bit of bone pullback. It's time to wrap them.
Okay. Okay.
I've done it before without wrapping them, but I
Mhm.
think they come out a lot softer.
Mhm.
They come out mushier when you wrap them, which is the way I like it.
Okay.
I
I do
don't I
too.
don't like too much of a tug.
Yeah. 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 I kind of like mine to fall off the bone.
Yep, I do too. And everybody says that's overdone, but I
Okay.
think I think if it's the way I like it and that's the way I cooked it, then it's
That's
not
the way
over
you
anything. It's just right.
right. Exactly. Exactly. You will need to get out of the freezer. Yeah, go get it now out of the freezer. We'll wait.
Now, Susie, I mean, yeah, you're talking about wrapping yours up, and we're talking about just starting.
Yeah. She's already wrapping hers.
No, no, she's got a couple more hours on her cook.
Oh.
Thought she's the only one up this late. Nope, nope. You'll find out your tribe keeps a lot of late hours.
Yes, we do. We do, Susie. Especially on Saturday night. We should tell her that we alternate weekends, huh?
Yeah, yeah, Susie. So Charlotte will have it next weekend.
Right.
We
And I go
alternate
on
back
a
and
little
forth.
earlier than he does. I'm usually between 9:30 and 10 on Saturday, and Grumpus always starts around 11.
You're right. I need to get them out of the freezer now if I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
But
Well, you've been
I'll,
on here 3 hours. You want to call it
I
a night?
I don't have to get them out now. I'll put them in some water. Has it been 3 hours? Really?
Yeah.
Well, we
You can't
probably
go
ought to.
nowhere yet. I'm not done with this square.
Well, we'll hang in there with you. Yeah, Susie. I think just sitting here, I've talked myself out of going to the store because
I
I'm
wouldn't
at
go.
even fighting the crowds. I bet there's not a chicken leg to be had, a chicken wing to be had. Probably hot dogs are probably all gone.
Mhm.
Might
Mhm.
find some Mister Meat hamburgers still on the shelf. But,
Yeah. You know what? Poppy and I found a butcher shop not too far from here, and
nice.
um, shoot, now that they closed up my Winn-Dixie, that's the only place I'm gonna be able to really get some good ribeyes. So that's where we're gonna go. They have meat packages. Let me see if I can find it. Um,
Well, I'll tell you what, finding a good butcher is almost as hard as finding a good doctor.
I know. But my daughter turned me on to this one, and it's called what's it called?
I've got a decent butcher that I can go to, but it's about a 20-30 minute drive.
Oh, yeah. Well, it would take us a good. It's called the Butcher Block, and right now they have a freezer special. No, they don't have. Is that the beef one? Oh, come on. They don't have the beef one. Okay,
Ooh.
two 20-ounce T-bone, four 12-ounce ribeyes, two New York strip, two fillets, 4 pounds of ground chuck for 189. Ooh, that's a lot.
It's hard to figure out the poundage that way.
Two,
The
three,
price per
six.
pound, I mean.
Well, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, divided by 18.
Because the
I
ribeyes
mean,
down here is running about $12.99 a pound, unless you can catch a
yeah,
sale somewhere, and that they're only dropping them a buck.
right. Now, I don't know if this is their most
Oxtail,
recent. Hmm.
Matt's
Oh, I
doing
love
oxtail tomorrow.
oxtail.
I hadn't had any of that in a long time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. The butcher block, week sale ad.
I don't know, Susie. This 3 hours drug by pretty quick.
It did, didn't it? It Okay, they've got USDA choice boneless New York strips right now for 12.99 a pound.
Yep, that's about the
Um,
going rate.
boneless skinless chicken breast 3.49. That's about the going rate. 4 pound box of catfish fillets 29.99. Um, Kaneka sausage 2 for $12, so that's only 2 pounds. Um, yeah, I don't see anything worth having. Not for me anyway. I don't like New York strip. That's not my favorite.
No, they're a little tough for me to eat.
Yeah,
I like the flavor, but they're a little tough.
right, right. Done.
Wow.
How fast was that?
I wasn't looking. You have to make another one.
Yeah.
It wasn't very long. What, 15 minutes maybe?
About that. About that. Yeah. Good grief. I gotta make more anyway. But I gotta get rid of this ball of yarn. See,
Terry,
I
which
have one. I'm sorry.
I was asking Terry which one of these he got. Looks like he got him a pretty decent unit. He bought him a new computer.
Oh yeah, he did talk about that the other day. I can't find the
Well, Susie, I do my best sleeping in front of the TV, especially when it's on.
I can't sleep unless I have some kind of racket going in the background. Of course, maybe that's why I have insomnia. Who knows?
I guess I think I'm just afraid I'm gonna miss something.
That too. That too.
Yeah, my nephew Tom was in
Mhm.
here earlier. He was telling me today he's wanting to buy him a new computer. What does he need and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Told him I just need to pick you and your wallet up. And we'll go to Micro Center and get everything you need and put it together at the house.
Pick you and your wallet up.
Yeah.
Ah, well, that would. Now he lives close to you, right?
He's 40-minute drive maybe.
That's close.
He's not. I mean, he's not far away.
Right. Um. Yeah. Well, shoot, he can kind of just meet you at Micro Center, couldn't he?
No, that's far away the other direction.
Oh, I see. I see.
Hey, you did good, Terry. You did real good.
One with the I-9 core. I'm not sure what all that means, but
Got a 1490. That's what I'm running, Terry. GeForce 480 Super. I've got the 470. 32 gigs of RAM, terabyte SSD. Yeah, that ought to get you where you need to go,
that
Terry.
ought to run him anywhere he needs to go,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, start.
That is
Timer.
nothing to sneeze at. What motherboard? I think does Alienware make their own motherboards?
Um,
Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore the chat.
No, it's okay.
I had a curious on.
What's that? What? What?
I said I had a curious on.
Oh, you couldn't focus because you were like, I'm curious about this. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. That was so kind.
See,
She
Jane's
says
trying to.
we're both great hosts and donated $9.99.
Oh, did I miss that? I sure
Yeah, you
did.
missed your super chat. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but
Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much. I appreciate that.
Um,
Jane's trying to stir it up again.
oh Lord, what is she up to now? Hang on, hang on, hang on.
Who's your team?
Oh, heck. Here we go. Matt built his son's gaming computer with a Ryzen processor, Asus motherboard. Okay. I think I said that right. Asus,
Yep,
Asus.
that's what I have. An Asus motherboard. I got
Yeah.
the i9 14900. In fact, the original one I got was when they were having all the issues with them, and Intel's switched it out for me, no cost.
Oh. I9 14
14900.
900. What's that mean?
That's just the that's just the chip.
That's the okay.
That's
So
the chip. The
so
the one that
it's
Matt's
called a
talking
what?
about, the one that Matt's talking about is a Ryzen,
Ryzen.
which
Oh,
is manufactured by uh,
AMD.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
AMD. Right.
and then the one that me and Terry's talking about is an Intel.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay.
So I mean they're comparable.
Shush. Go away. Go away, kid. Kenny. Don't you know that night?
Yeah, that's what I'm running, Matt. I've got an Asus Tough Z790. I picked that board because it had more PCI slots. It's getting harder and harder to find motherboards with PCI slots. Generally, they've got everything built on board now.
There's a PCI.
In order to run all of my cameras, I needed to be able to put USB cards in mine, additional ones. PCI is the socket that the cards actually plug into.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
a socket built onto the motherboard, and
It's
then
a
you buy a
motherboard.
card,
Okay.
it plugs into those slots.
Okay.
Used to motherboards would have 6, 7 slots. 5 would be a small one, and nowadays it's hard to find anything with an extra slot in it.
Huh. Tom Brady, all in the game. Definitely not the Eagle. And any commercial that makes me laugh. What?
Well, Susie, it's going to be interesting to see the Bud Light commercials. I think they've had a rough few years. I think they've saw the light and they're trying to win us back.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't won me back
Mm-hmm.
yet,
I'd
but
like to see that happen.
if they keep heading this direction, then they may win me back
Yeah.
because that's all I drank was Bud, not Bud
Yeah.
Light, just straight Bud.
But
And after that last little episode, I haven't touched one since.
really, what did you switch to though?
Dos Equis.
Oh, okay.
Well,
My girlfriend.
I switched to Corona
Uh-huh.
for about 2 weeks, and
Uh-huh.
realized that Anheuser Busch owned them too. So
Oh
so I've been doing the Dos Equis route all this
no.
time.
My girlfriend likes Modelo. And I don't know what the difference is, but that's one of her favorites. And
I
every
think
time it's like,
I think Modelo is the number one selling beer in the United States right now.
is it really? Well, I don't know who makes it, but I'm assuming Modelo does, but I don't know anything about it.
Well, Matt, I can't. I have nothing to say about that because I haven't run an AMD in many, many, many years.
Mm.
Uh, this computer I just built in January is the first computer I built with a water cooler. So it seems to be doing a pretty good job. But that chip, that 14900, runs pretty hot as it is. And my temps have been running. Let's see here. My temps is running about 49 to 52.
Your
And we're
computer
not
tells you
we're
the
not working hard
temperature
right now. Yeah, the way
of the
I've got it
motor.
set up. Yeah, let me.
Oh, Lord.
There we go. See here. It's a touch screen.
Oh, my goodness. It's on fire.
Well, it's Grumpus on fire, so I got to have a computer on
Oh, well,
fire
yeah,
too.
that's true. That's true. Never mind.
Totally unnecessary, but I needed it for this shot, which I hardly use.
That's a great shot, and I love the fire.
even my
And every
even my
time you do that
fans,
shot, you need to run your hand over it, too.
even my I don't see if you can see it. Even my fans back here have a screen inside the fan, and each one of those is running a different video of fire.
Oh, oh.
You can barely see them in this camera
Yeah, I
shot,
can't. I
but
can see it on the side there, but not.
yeah, where I'm pointing, those are three fans, and they got a screen in the center of each fan.
Oh, okay.
And then my water cooler right here,
Yeah.
it does a loop of four different videos. So
Ooh.
a lot of unnecessary expenditure.
I
But at the
would
time, I
expect nothing
convinced
less.
myself I needed it.
That's right. You need it.
Yeah, Terry got a liquid cooling. Yep, that's great
Oh,
because
yeah?
I think that CPU chip needs it.
Oh, well, I won't get that one then.
I've been a big air cooler guy all these years, so I thought I'd try this one out.
So, does the water cooler work kind of like a radiator?
It has a radiator and a pump and circulates water.
Throughout
Normally
the.
you would have a heat sink that clips on top of the CPU,
Right,
generally with one or two fans on it. And it's air cooled that way.
right.
This one here has a heat sink with a pump on it, and it circulates water from there up to a radiator, blows it out the top of the computer, brings it back around.
I'll be. That's pretty incredible.
So we'll see how it
Eh,
does.
Well, if it seems to be working,
Well,
that.
it works. I don't know about the longevity.
Oh, I see. I see.
I mean, the air
Well, and
cooler,
I
not a
wouldn't
whole lot can
worry.
go wrong. Not a whole lot can go wrong with the air cooler other than the fan go out. And most of them have dual fans anymore.
A
But as
radiator
far as
leak
a
would be
radiator, I don't know if
concerning.
it's going to dry out.
Right.
There's no way to top it off unless you do some
Yeah.
major modifications. Yep, that's right, Matt. Yeah, you used to add all of that stuff, and now it's all built on. And now they've come out. Now they've come out with. I mean, all these graphic cards now take up so many slots anyway. They don't even put the socket on the motherboard because they know it's going to be covered by one card.
I'll be right back.
All right. Yeah, we'll see how the liquid cool does for the longevity. I'll just have to monitor everything. I don't know if this thing's got any kind of a alarm that goes off or I mean, I've got a temperature alarm set on the motherboard, so if it gets too hot, it'll sound off, and hopefully it'll sound off before we cook anything. Same way here, Matt. That's the first water cooled I've ever bought. Thank you, Susie. A lot of that's totally unnecessary, but I don't have to buy school clothes or school books or shoes or nothing like that, so that's what I'm spending. Yeah, Matt, I've got the Corsair. What is it, 95, I think? Let me look here. No, the camera's in the way, but yeah, I've had this for quite a few years, and all of the keys are programmable. Like I got this set up for gaming. Lit lights one way. This is lit up another way. I like it because it's mechanical keys. I like the feel of mechanical keys. Again, you don't have to have all this kind of stuff. I just got it. The Eagles, I've got to go with my Bama boys.
Bama. That's Bama. Alabama.
Yes, it is a
Oh
Corsair.
God. Sorry.
It's a K95 RGB. I think it's the model number. I really like it. In fact, I've got two of them. One here, and I bought myself one for work.
Susie, I
Wow.
want to know, maybe that's my aversion to the Eagles too, because I was always a Cowboys fan. I used to watch Cowboys when Roger Staubach and Too Tall Jones and all of them were playing on the team.
Oh man, she's a Cowboy fan. I want my wrench back.
Those Yeah, but those were the days of the Cowboys back then.
Susie, maybe that's why you're single.
Oh my God. That's so ugly. Grumpus, take it back.
I'll take it
Take
back.
it back.
Keep the wrench. Call it even.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, me and
Oh.
Susie go way back.
Tell you what, if anything ever happens to Poppy, I'm gonna stay single the rest of my days.
Hey, if I get this one raised, I'm not having no more.
I understand 100%. I might rent a husband every now and then, but
It's cheaper to rent.
it is. It is.
Yeah, Matt, the clickety keyboard's good unless you're on a live stream, and sometimes the mic will pick that up. I get a lot of grief for that.
I like clicky keyboards. I don't like the silent ones because it makes me think I'm not typing, even when I know I ain't. What I still call it typing, y'all.
Yeah, Terry. Yeah, Terry. That's you're gonna go with that kind of a computer. You might as well have a decent mouse with it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
let's
he
face
did,
it.
Susie. I got you though. I got you. I got your back. Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure what I'm using is a Logitech G903 with the light speed. Let's see.
See, I got a laptop. I just use my finger.
That would drive me nuts. Have to use a finger all the time, especially editing and stuff.
Oh, well, I don't edit with this.
I am behind. I'm sorry, Susie.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I remember Earl Campbell.
Yep, I do too. I do too.
And boys would pile on him. He'd carry 6 of them and a football to the end zone. Guy had thighs like tree trunks.
Oh my gosh. Those were the
Jackie,
days.
we've
Hey, Jackie!
been here since 11.
Yeah. Yeah, those were good times. Well, I used to watch it with my dad on Sundays. That's how I got interested in football back in the day. And then becoming a football widow made me uninterested in football.
Well, I mean that's back. That's back when Bum Phillips was the coach.
Mhm,
I mean, them
mhm.
guys would play with broken arms for that guy.
Yeah, yeah.
The team loved him. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that commercial, Susie. It was pretty funny.
Yes, that is hilarious. Todd! And that woman's face is so funny when she looks at him and says, "It's roll tide."
What?
2:20. What? I napped and woke up to hearing Grumpus talk about swallowing a hot dog.
That was way earlier. Yeah, I think that chili cheese dog's going to bite me.
Is it talking back?
It's going to bite me in the ass later.
Ah, it was good going down though, huh?
Yeah.
Oh
What
gosh.
what keyboard did you get, Terry? What mouse and keyboard did you get? I think I think Terry's fixing to go live and outrun all of us.
I think he might.
He
I
got the
think he
hardware to
might.
do it now.
Yeah, he does.
Maybe he'll start making some videos. He got an editing machine now.
I wish he would.
Yeah, but my nephew's wanting to start a channel. Well, I think he started one, but he hasn't done anything with it.
What's he want to do?
Uh, I'm not exactly sure yet,
Yeah.
but he was asking me about cameras and computers and stuff today and what he needed.
Right. Well, let us know when he gets it up and running.
I will.
That
Razor
way.
Black Widow, yes, sir.
Mhm.
You're doing good. That'll hold up to some pounding. A lot of your gamers use that one.
Mhm. What is that? A key? Oh, keyboard. Keyboard.
Yes, keyboard. Razor's a brand.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that. Oh, keyboard.
I'm sorry.
Oilers. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's still, yeah, he was a legend. Is, was.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff they'll. Well, years ago they used to put if it was considered a gaming mouse or a gaming keyboard or something like that.
Hmm.
It really meant it was built a little tougher for people pounding on them and
Sure.
throwing
Yeah.
them and different things like that. But anymore, they'll put gamer on anything just as marketing.
Yeah, because they can charge more for it.
But the keyboard and mouse he's talking about are uh, are good stuff.
Tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think he does some gaming too.
Well, I mean, this mouse, you see the ROG,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
Republic of Gamers.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's ASUS term. They got ROG motherboards, ROG video cards, all that. If Yeah, Terry, I think you did good. I think you did real good.
Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
Did you hear what Matt said?
Matt.
Open up that can of worms. He said, now I went the easy. I run everything on my MacBook Pro.
Oh my goodness!
Go.
I want to give him a wrench just so I can take it back.
And go, Grumpus.
I think Apple makes really good hardware, and I
Yeah.
just I'm just not drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't like the way they run their business.
A mouse is a Asus ROG. I can't even say all them words.
That's the model number.
Oh, okay.
Asus is the brand, and ROG, what is that?
Republic of Gaming.
Spatha X
Okay.
is the model.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt, I don't have an Apple. I've never had an Apple, so I really can't say they're good or bad. I can't say that I don't like them because I've never had one.
Well,
I
when I
just
had mine, I enjoyed it.
I know a lot of people just swear by them, and
It was very simple to use.
at the very end, I mean, if you can get where you want to go, there's nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't tell anybody not to buy one. That's not my personal go-to.
Right.
Yeah, same way. Well, I mean, the Google OS. I mean, that's running Linux,
Mm.
Unix, Linux, whatever whatever you want, whatever flavor you want to put on it. And
Mm-hmm.
Apple's OS is also Unix based, which is Linux based. So
I
that
like my Chromebook.
and it's running Android operating system, which is a branch off of Linux. Quentin's an Apple fan. If it works, I say go for it.
Well, that's the thing.
If we can do
If you
live
don't.
streams and I can shoot videos and edit, to each its own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Apple is not made for tinkerers. If I was the kind of person that just wanted to turn it on and know nothing's going to happen, that's the way I'd go. But I've usually got my hands in messing with something that's. I fix a lot of things that aren't broken till I have to replace them. I mean, that's just the nature of things.
What's 33 minus 8?
33 minus 8.
25?
Yep, that's what I'd call it.
Took me 25 minutes to make that last square.
All right. Well, that's
Two,
pretty quick.
three,
So you've made two
4, 5,
since we've
6.
been sitting here.
I've made more than that. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
I've
13.
also done that, Matt. Yeah,
Look at here, Jackie. I made all of these today. That's 15. I think I'm done for the day.
yeah, Matt. For a while, I had the PC and I ran a dual boot Linux, and then I went about a year. I had Linux with Windows running in a virtual in VM, and I think the last time I built the computer before this one, I built it and put Windows on it, and I just never got back into the Linux end of it. I like Linux. That's what's running on a laptop behind me, behind the green screen. I think I rebooted it 2 months ago. It's been sitting here cooking away.
So 41.
So I really, and I'm
Mhm.
running Linux Mint on the laptop.
Okay. I have 56 squares made total, and I have 45 to go.
Wow, that's a
I
lot of
did
squares.
I did use these colors, Jackie. I used the shocking violet, and I used oh, what was that other color I bought? It's brown one, red and brown and deserty colors. Mm, oh, this, I used this. I hate the way my camera is doing that focusing thing.
Well, it was in focus.
Well, it was. This one's called Kaleidoscope. So those are the three new ones that I used. And then, of course, I've got all the other ones still. I hope I have enough yarn to finish. I think I do. And then my son texted me a picture of a type of granny square blanket today. And he just texted me a picture of the blanket on the bed. So I texted him back and I said, "Is that yours?" And he said, "No, I just thought you might want to make one like this."
Why? It's done been done.
I said, I said, "You mean for you?" He said, "Yeah, I mean for me."
Uh,
I said, "Well, okay, I could do that." It's pretty funny.
well, folks, it's been 3 hours and 3.5 hours. You think we ought to wrap this up?
Please.
Oh, all right. Well, let's
Getting
see
kind
see
of
what
tired.
I'm not familiar with that camera.
What camera?
Is MB
NV.
Power. Not familiar with that one. Terry, Terry says, no, don't go. Susie says, no, no.
Susie, don't forget to email me, okay?
Well, in spite of popular demand, I think I'm going to have to wrap this up. Yeah, I know, I know.
He's a party pooper, isn't he?
I, I got I got to get up and figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow.
It's true, you do.
It's a shame. I gotta figure out that whole my whole day is going to be occupied by getting ready to watch a damn football game.
You know, it doesn't have to be. It
I
can be,
know. I could order a pizza.
well, not only that, but you could just occupy yourself with cooking and enjoying the cook and then not watch the football game
Well, I also could do that
or
because
fall asleep halfway through the football game.
if I if I cook all day, it'll be outside, and I will probably pass out before the game starts.
No, I would. I know I would.
All right, guys. I think we'll wrap this up. Who's left in here? Susie, thanks for stopping by as always. Terry, you're a rock man. You're a rock star.
Yeah,
Quentin, we appreciate you, buddy.
a whole bunch.
Who else is in here? Jane,
Jane. And I think Jackie's still in here.
Matt's still here. Jackie's still here.
Mhm.
Wow, still got a lot of people here.
Up to you.
All right, guys. Next week, Charlotte, I have it next week. And what do you think? Around 10 o'clock?
9:30,
Charlotte, like
10,
ten.
like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see you. Y'all have a good Super Bowl Sunday. eat some good food, and we're going to expect the full report next week.
Indeed, we are.
So we'll see y'all. Bye bye.
Good night, everybody.